1987. The Sport took the young defender on a whistle-stop tour of South Germany, from Augsburg to Stuttgart and then Ulm. A knee injury ended his playing career at the age of 25, though. Tuchel accepted his first coaching role in the Stuttgart youth setup in 2000, hired by none other than Ralf Rangnick. Under Tuchel's stewardship, the club's under-19s won their league title in 2005. But Stuttgart chose not to renew his contract, feeling Tuchel had an abrasive personality. He went on to manage Augsburg's second team before spending 5 years at the helm at Mainz. He then followed in Jurgen Klopp's footsteps and moved from Mainz to Dortmund. Here, Tuchel secured his first major silverware, the German Cup, in 2017. 8 more major trophies came next for Tuchel in just 5 glorious seasons. He won 2 Ligue 1 titles and a pair of domestic cups as PSG boss. At Chelsea, he famously lifted the Champions League as well as a Super Cup and a Club World Cup, and he also bagged a Bundesliga at Bayern Munich. And then, 4 months after leaving Bayern, Tuchel was unveiled as England's new manager.
I always wanted to come back to England. That was my big goal. I have the best memories of the country, of the league and of the players. The attitude towards the game, the attitudes from the supporters.
Well, here's hoping Tuchel can finally drag England over the line at a major tournament.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6:05. This is talkSPORT Breakfast Show with me, Andy Goldstein, and the superstar of the Breakfast Show is Stuart Pearce today. And Arnold Clark, it's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Stuart Pearce, good morning to you.
I cut it a bit fine, didn't I?
Wow, by the skin of your teeth.
I know, but I'm here I am literally on time. I'm on good form, my friend, back from the World Cup.
Yeah.
Getting in the swing of things. Plenty of gigs on at the moment, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
It's great to have you along. I love you. I'm a big fan of yours. And whenever we do a show together, it's always brilliant.
I
So
know.
I'm very excited I've got you.
I can see it in your eyes. You know,
I
it's
think
lovely,
that's just I've
eyes.
woken up.
Oh, it's that, is it?
The last time I saw you was in Miami. How posh does that sound?
That was nice.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Went out for the dinner?
Yeah,
Big
very
team. You were down at the posh end.
Well, I don't know about the posh end. We got there the late end, didn't we? So there was
Oh, yeah.
two left at the
There's a
end
theme
of the
here,
table.
isn't there?
You know what I mean? All the big stars, you and Bentley right in the middle holding court,
had
you
to.
know.
Well, someone had to do that role.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah. Did you have a good time? I've literally not spoken to you since that night. You had a good
No.
time during the World Cup?
I absolutely loved it. I ring people and they say, it's been a hard slog. You pleased to be back? I went, no. And they said, I'm staying in hotels? I said, brilliant. You know what I mean? It's nice routine. We'd done so much while we were there outside of the games. The games were brilliant. Outside of the games, the baseball, the gigs, the this, the that.
You did the final, right, as well?
Yeah.
I mean, that must have just been unbelievable. Was it a pain getting in?
Yeah, really, really bad.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, we jumped the queue. If truth be known,
How
we
did you do that?
literally went to they didn't have a clue what they were doing because Trump security took over for the game. So there was the problem. Instead of the people who worked the whole tournament,
Yeah, I didn't know this.
got in a swing of doing the security for it
Yeah.
and whatever. Because Trump was in town,
Oh, I
and they
see.
didn't want anything going wrong. The whole of the security was taken over by special whatever they are.
Special forces or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were going to the nth degree to search everybody. So there were massive queues. Like some people were waiting. Coisty was waiting. Best part of 3 hours.
You are kidding me. How did you jump the queue then? What did you do?
Well,
Did
literally.
you go, Stuart Pearce?
No, there was literally 2 doors to get in. And I'm not joking. There was probably about 2,000 people going through 2 doors and 2 checkers. So they were sort of queuing. We looked at this queue and thought, we're not going to make airtime. And bear in mind, we got there ludicrously early. We were on air at 1 o'clock for 2-hour build-up.
Yeah.
We were there at 9 in the morning, and we thought we ain't going to get through the doors to get on air. So it was that bad.
Wow.
So we ended up just walk to the front sort of thing. And he just rung up and said, just come and join me. So we just joined him and got in.
Oh, my goodness.
It was bad, though. It was really bad.
That's good that you got to the front.
Well, we had work to do.
You had work like today, right?
We had work to do. Nothing would stop me getting there on time.
No. 60 years today, Stuart. 60 years today we won the World Cup.
We were hoping it was about 16 days.
Yeah,
since
it
we
wasn't
won
to
it,
be.
but it wasn't to be. I mean, it's still the biggest day in men's football, isn't it? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Us winning the World Cup, iconic, just down the road.
You were there, weren't you? You were a ball boy that day. Is that right?
I was in the squad. I missed the cut again as a 4-year-old. I
Is that how old you were? Were you born in 62 yet?
Yeah, I don't remember the World Cup. The first memory was 70.
We should so spread a rumor that you were a ball boy that day.
Yeah,
You look just before the last goal. I rolled the ball to Bobby Moore. That'd be
I
great.
have
wouldn't it?
actually been a ball boy at Wembley.
Have you?
Yeah, it was like the FA Vase final in about 74. It was Plymouth versus Sheffield. I don't know what game it was, but our Sunday club got picked.
Wow, and you're a ball boy
Let
there.
me tell you a story about that, shall I?
Yeah, of course.
Because I like to expand. I was a ball boy that day, and what was I? 74. I was 12. Okay, so we're a ball boy at Wembley, and after the game, they took we all went up to. They had a great hall at Wembley. Do you remember that? You old enough?
Go on, where was this Great Hall? Because I went there many times as a kid. Where's the Great Hall?
Literally, as you go up the Wembley steps to go up into the main thing, go in there, and the main hall.
Oh, I
was
wouldn't have
there.
been behind that.
It's a
The,
big-
behind the roll box.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I wouldn't have been
They
there.
took us all up there. I moved house probably 10 years ago, right? And I found an autograph book, and I went through it and opened it up. And bear in mind, I got the autographs that day. On one page was Margaret Thatcher, 1974, and on the other page was Brian Clough. I work for one, but not the other. You know what I mean? Honestly.
I think you work for both, actually,
I know.
at some stage of your career.
So
That's
they
a
must have
great
been there,
story.
sat near each other or next to each other at this event.
Who had more power back in the day?
I think Cloughie
I think always Cloughie,
held
right?
the power, but it would have been, the politics were vastly different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. On that day, 1966, the commentary for Jeff Hurst's fourth goal, right? You're aware of it. Can you remember what it was?
Yeah.
The famous commentary.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over.
That was
isn't it?
BBC. Would you like to, have you ever heard ITV's commentary?
No, I
This
don't
is
think
real.
I
This is
have.
100% real because it went out simultaneously on BBC and ITV.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Kenneth Whittington.
Yes. Yeah.
They think it's all over. This is genuine. This is Hugh Johns from 1966. This was ITV's version of They Think It's All Over. Have a listen.
Seconds ticking away as Martin Peters goes for Jeff Hurst goes forward. He might make it 3. He has! He has! And that's it! That's it! What a sight!
How mad's that? No one really knows about that, do they?
It's the first time I've ever heard that in 60 years.
Yeah, I came in today and I was talking to the boys about it, and they looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, no, there's a guy on ITV that did it.
Yeah.
He's going to make it 3. He has. You got to be devastated if you got. That's a good line.
It's
That's a
not
good-
bad. It's not bad.
it?
But it's not the line,
No,
is it?
it's not the line. Yeah.
No.
And by the way, it's not 60 years of hurt because we had the trophy for 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's 56 years.
Oh, that eases it right off.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Makes me feel a lot better
That's
about
a-
the failures I've
That's
had.
a
in an
very good
England
point.
shirt.
Makes it so much easier, the pain, doesn't it? It's only 56 years. What are you talking about? What show we brought you yesterday? Forest skipper Ryan Yates and the new gaffer Oliver Glasner both joined us live from Portugal. Glasner told us that winning silverware really could be a possibility during his first season at the City Ground. Have a listen.
I never value again. I never said that I want to win a trophy, but this year it's. One thing is definitely clear: we want to win a European trophy because we don't play European football, and that means we will play 3 competitions. That's the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup. And like I always said, it's just my mindset. We enter any competition to win it. I don't know if it's realistic to win the Premier League, but everything else is possible. But it doesn't make sense now to talk about the result that could be next May or June. So now it's really important to create the present, work hard day by day, and then let's see what we will achieve.
Oliver Glasner, new Nottingham Forest manager. Your team is, of course, Nottingham Forest. How excited are you, the prospect that he's the gaffer now for this season? Because, I mean, what he did at Palace was above and beyond, right?
Yeah, I'd done a fantastic job there. I was a little bit surprised that he went to Forest from Palace.
Yeah.
I've got to say. Listen, I never get comfortable with managers at Forest because they don't last too long. So I just got fingers crossed that he does. You know, obviously Anderson leaving as well has been a bit of a blow for the club.
Great
But,
player.
they need to do better than they did last year. Been really up and down with their performances, and I think they've got a good squad of players, but they need that level of consistency in their performance.
Yeah. One of the questions I asked him yesterday was, realistically, what are the aims for the season? What do you think, as a Forest fan, they should be doing this season? If the season ended today and we looked back at his first season in charge, what would you expect minimum, realistically?
I don't know about minimum, but I think a good season for him to finish 10th, 11th.
Yeah, I think top half was what he was alluding to yesterday.
Yeah, I think if he could finish it in and around those positions, I think it's a good first season for him. And he's going to have to work out how he wants the team to play. They've been a really good, over the last X amount of years, a really good counter-attack team. Sit back, defend deep, attack on the counter-attack. Now, if he's going to change that style of play slightly, I don't know whether he will or whether he won't, it might take a little while to bed in.
Yeah. Okay. We've got lots coming up on today's show. We brought you that Glasner and Yates interview yesterday. This morning, you'll also exclusively hear from the star man, Morgan Gibbs-White, on their expectations for the season. Also, we've got Rachel Riley joining us in the studio. Are you any good on the numbers game? Because we'll be having
I'm
some
better
fun.
at the numbers than the letters.
So am I.
Truth be
Sim
known.
said, we'll do numbers, we'll do letters for you. And I was like, no. Neither of us can
Your
spell.
numbers.
Let's Get Numbers. Okay. So we'll do that a bit later when she's coming in. Not for that, by the way, but she's coming in. And we've got Barry Davis on the show as well.
Oh, nice.
So a busy show. We've got lots between now and 10. So if you want to have your say at any stage between now and then, just put our number in your phone and you can dial in 03717223344. It's 15 minutes past 6. It's The Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, alongside the superstar that is Stuart Pearce.
Up and said you got 10 players better than John Stones.
No, but
I said all time. I didn't say Prem, but let's stick to Prem. All right, let's do this.
Go on.
Virgil van Dijk, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Vincent Kompany.
Yeah,
that's five.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we going Tony Adams?
Ooh, yeah.
No,
you're not gonna say.
No, but go on.
I would.
Campbell.
I'd do Sol Campbell, defo.
And I'm a Tottenham
Sol
fan.
Campbell,
Sol
come
Campbell
on,
out.
come on, JB.
Keep going.
I'm going Sol Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh. Gary Pallister.
Carvalho.
Mate, come on.
Carvalho.
Don't help him. Why are you helping him? Carvalho's not better than John Stones.
Carvalho. Ricardo Carvalho.
Jamie, hear me out.
Give me a break, man.
On his day, prime for prime, one game for a final, Ledley King.
Yeah, Ledley King. What, you telling me Ledley King? Oh, come on, Jamie.
Listen, Jamie, not the career, but for one game in his prime.
I watched John Stones playing the Champions League final.
I know he was
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
He was unbelievable. So let's.
I hear it, but
like,
you know
come
what
on.
I think, yeah? I heard.
Morning, everyone. 18 minutes past 6. It's The Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein. Stuart Pearce alongside me. This is the 1985 hit. What's it called?
Running Up That Hill
By Bush. It is by Kate Bush. Of course, had a revival in recent years in a major role in the Netflix series Stranger Things. We are playing it. Why are we playing it? It's her birthday.
Is it?
How old is Kate Bush today?
Kate Bush has got to be older than me, so I'm going to say Kate Bush.
Well, work it out, Stuart.
Is 71.
You got countdown music? You haven't got that yet. 71?
Yeah.
You're wrong. I'll give you 3 years either way. She's either 68 or 74. Which way are you going?
74.
No, she's 68. She'll love it if
I've
you listen
killed
to
her,
that.
haven't I?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Kate.
Yeah. You ever watch Stranger Things? You fan of that?
No, I don't know that.
I don't know if that's up your...
I know the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's your type of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty open-minded.
Oh, yeah?
Truth be known.
Okay. You like sci-fi stuff?
Well, I was a big fan of Star Trek in the day. But
Were you?
that's
Not Star
going right
Wars?
back. Yeah, I like Star Wars, but obviously I was a generation that grew up on sort of the original Star Trek.
You like a Klingon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right, time to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
Fresh Mill, wonderful show this morning between 5 and 6. Angelina Kelly's back in the studio. How are you?
I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
Were you ever called Angelina Ballerina? Was that that was?
Yeah, it was when I was like primary school age.
Yeah.
She came about because they used to do this magazine that you'd get like, I don't know, every month or something, and you'd have a new outfit for Angelina Ballerina, and it got to about volume 50, and my mum was like, we need to bring this in. But it was the first Angelina for me.
Yeah. She was no idea what we're talking about.
No.
My kids used to watch Angelina Ballerina. There's a prime example.
I have heard of it.
A prime example of someone going, what rhymes with Angelina?
Yeah.
What can we make her?
What can we do it? Ballerina, yeah, let's go for it.
What are we doing today? We got back pages?
Yes, so we brought you the news yesterday morning that FIFA President Gianni Infantino is attempting to sell off the World Cup to private investment. The back pages have been having a bit of fun. We've got him looking like Mr. Greedy from the Mr. Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that suits him. He looks quite good there. He suits the pink body as well. And we've got FIFA stands for Fake Infantino's Football Atrocity.
Scraping the barrel with that one.
That in, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They tried to make it work.
Anyone got an A?
That was FIFA Ballerina, that was.
But yeah, naturally the back pages they've been having their say, laying into them a bit. Infantino did speak yesterday though and explained why he's trying to do this.
FIFA has been transformed over the past decade through sweeping governance reforms and a major expansion of development and competitions. Strengthening the commercial side of the game is the natural next step in this evolution. So we believe that the FFE proposal would unlock the sport's potential in every corner of the world across men's, women's and youth football. Well, the fans, they remain the cornerstone of the beautiful game, and the sport they watch and love will not change. More revenue returned to the member associations means more investment.
If you've got one of the biggest products in the world in football and FIFA and World Cup football, and you can't sell it without setting up another company and selling stakes in it, there's something wrong with you, right?
It's a fantastic statement just there. It made me chuckle, actually.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fans are at the centre of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well,
nothing will change.
The ticket prices this summer would
exactly.
fly against that.
Bottle of water, $5, that won't change, would it?
Yeah.
Was it 15? I think it was 15 minutes.
I mean, it depended which stadium you were going to. It was absolutely ridiculous. But UEFA are not taking this lying down. The Times are reporting this morning that they will hold a crisis meeting to decide on action to combat Infantini's plans. As much as UEFA have taken a stance against this, reports are suggesting that the Czech FA's president has already broken ranks and said that they support Infantino's proposal. And, you know, the reaction from fans has been unanimous that this is bad for football. It shouldn't be for sale, but it's not them that are getting a say in this. It is the heads of these football associations that will get tempted with offers of big money. And Infantino knows this. So, I mean, Stu, do you think that England should be boycotting a World Cup? What have you made of all this news?
I see it from probably the players' point of view. Well, firstly, let's go back. I'm really dubious of anything that comes out of them. Any idea that comes out of them, I mistrust them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's come to that at the moment. Greed seems to be at the centre of everything, not the fans, as it should be. And then I'll put myself at the centre, the player being centric of it. When you boycott it, bear in mind the World Cup comes around once every 4 years. I was an international for 12 years and played in one World Cup, you know what I mean? So I'd feel sorry for the players. You end up boycotting it, which is great. Yeah, let's boycott it. What about this generation of footballers that never get to play in a World Cup because of that?
And also, what it does for the economy when we've got a World Cup and we get to the latter stages is, I mean, it's the feel-good factor is unbelievable.
There's nothing like it, is there?
No, there isn't. There isn't.
And, you know, is this a bigger threat to football than something like the Super League even? I mean, people have been making some comparisons. I mean, Infantino had the hydration breaks, which I know Stu were in the stadiums observing those. We had the 27-minute half-time break as well, the Trump influencing the bargain suspension. If he gets this sale through, I mean, surely it becomes even more of the same as well.
It will do. I think the commercial side of it, the breaks. I almost got used to the hydration break.
Same.
I really did.
Yeah.
You know, it
was a toilet break for some.
It wasn't an inconvenient, exactly. At my age, especially.
Great, wasn't it?
What I mean?
Honestly, I loved them.
Well, we can't leave the commentary post, so we had to.
You can empty a bag. Though,
We had
under
to
the table
where we were, as you well know. But you got used to them, and you got used to, as a commentator, filling the void and analysing the game slightly differently and in a bit more depth, if you like, in those hydration breaks. I think they went on probably too long. Even the players and the coaching staff that were assembled around there, probably it was a minute too long for them. You know what I mean?
Did you like the half-time show? With Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Madonna. You see them all?
It's not my cup.
Get their autograph.
It's not. No, it's an autograph, celebrity, and
it's not you, is it?
The lineup.
You like Bieber though? You like your music? You like Bieber?
No.
You didn't like Bieber coming out?
No, I didn't.
It was terrible. The whole thing was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it weren't my cup. But even when I went to the Champions League and the Killers were on, got excited when I didn't like the Killers. The sound was awful, you know what I mean? I'd rather see
for the World Cup final?
The night before. No, I'm going before the Champions League before we went. So the Killers played prior to that.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go and see the Killers play on the Friday night and then go to the game on the Saturday. It's all part of the ticket.
Concert.
How good would that be? Now, there's a proper idea.
Well, two things you never mix. You never go to a concert and think, I could do with a football match breaking out here. Do you?
No, exactly.
There's a restaurant near me, right? It's closed down now, but a restaurant near me that would have live music in it. And it was so loud. And I remember I've said many a time to like my missus or whoever I'm with, I've never ever been to a music hall or a concert and I could fancy a 3-course meal now.
Is he talking music hall, aiming at my generation?
Yeah, I was trying to...
I think he is,
yeah. So,
so
demeaning, even at this time of day.
Sure, I've never said music hall in my life.
No, you haven't.
I don't know why I said music hall.
Until you're looking at me.
Music hall? Where's that come from? We'd go out for a tea and cake dance, wouldn't we? That's what they used to do.
Yeah, like the afternoon dance.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all surrounding you now, isn't it?
It is. I know. I'm a bad influence.
Music hall? Where's that come from?
On you young pups.
Any other stories that you'd like to give a little mention to?
Just a quick mention, sticking with the World Cup on Argentina, the players, backroom staff that were involved in altercations with Spain, players at full time, they're going to be investigated. There's a lot of breaches using sports event for demonstration of non-sporting nature, team misconduct, discrimination, racist abuse, breaching order and security at matches. There's a lot for them to sift through here, isn't there?
What do you think that they're going to do to the Argentinian players? Bear in mind, they decided to Conce's suspension. They upgraded that to 2 games. They give a 6-game suspension to a Qatari player for a mistimed tackle. So a player, after the game has actually finished, that's thrown a punch, if you've set a precedent of banning a player for 6 games, which I think is ludicrous, because he's not a well-known player as such, and then quash bans for Ronaldo and whatever, and you think, come on now, you know, this
got to be fair across the board, hasn't it?
Exactly that.
Yeah, it's never been fair, is it? Angelina, you're coming back in a little bit later on to give us a countdown quiz, is that right? A conundrum.
I brought you the iPhone quiz yesterday. We've got a countdown quiz today.
So. All right, who's your money on, me or Stuart? Music hall.
Don't make me pick.
Who do you think's clever out of me and Stuart?
Oh, no.
Yeah, in the numbers round.
In the numbers round.
Bear in mind, he's an ex-footballer. They're quite stupid. Who are you going for?
Oh, you're making me go for you.
Just pick one.
I'm also an electrician that studied for a long period of time.
And you said you didn't concentrate at school, so I'm.
You going for the ex-pro,
yeah?
Okay, more for you.
I've got money on him, but there you go.
Oh, you're messing up for me now.
Wait, why don't we just call it a draw so we don't have to do it? That was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, Stuart's take on Chelsea's new Dad's Army transfer strategy. It's 6:29. Morning, everyone.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
chaps. How are you?
We're good, man. How you doing today?
Morning,
You all right?
Jeff.
You well?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Goldstein, are you on the wind-up with this Kane to Chelsea thing?
Well, no. I asked I never said it. I asked the question.
Yeah, you done it on purpose, so I'd ring up, didn't
Oh, no,
you?
Sol Campbell went to Arsenal, didn't he?
No, I knew you was going to come
Tevez
up
went to
with
Man
that.
City. It happens. Definitely happens.
Listen. Kane is proper Tottenham. Don't you know that? Don't you know that?
I know he's proper I know that. I don't think he would do that.
Of course he wouldn't. So why are you talking about it and winding me up
Jeff,
for?
Jeff, let me ask you this.
All night.
Jeff.
I've been working all night on a night shift, right? I'm going home, right? I was all chilled out and relaxed, looking forward to going home.
Now you're all bitter and twisted.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
And now, right? And now you're winding me up with this. I'll tell you what, if Kane goes to Chelsea, I'll do anything you say. Anything.
Ever fancied having a beer in the stands while watching your team at the Emirates, or at Anfield, or at Stamford Bridge? Well, this season you actually can. Drinking alcohol in the stands at Premier League games may still be illegal, but the Women's Super League is doing something different. And here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. Then, in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed. But despite attempts to change things over the years, authorities just haven't been convinced fans can be trusted. But in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. As a result, select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are now allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
I love it. 33 minutes past 6. Good morning, everyone. You're waking up to the talkSPORT Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Stuart Pearce and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Just before we move on, we've got loads of screens in our studio. One of them, the biggest one, has got Mikel Arteta doing like a pre-season chat on Arsenal TV. Look at his body language. How relaxed does he look now he's got a Premier League title?
He does, don't he?
Totally different persona, isn't it?
To be fair, it's pre-season and he's just won the Premier League title. He could be lying down in a minute, couldn't he?
Yeah.
You know?
That's
He'll
always
spark up.
That's always a worry for other football clubs when you've got a manager that's won the Premier League and that looks so relaxed now.
You know how nervous the Arsenal fans are. They'll look at that and say, you know what, he's too relaxed. He's took his foot off the ball.
Oh, no, I think that's a good thing, don't you?
I used to play at a fella called Brian Clough, and before the games, we used to sit in the dressing room, like, say, 15 minutes before kick-off, and he used to make everyone just put their legs out, relax, no one said a word. And his proviso was, you can't play the game unless you're relaxed. And that was it. We just used to sit there in total sight. If people walked past the door, they must have thought, what the hell's going on here? You know, we just...
Let me ask you, I don't know if you've been asked this before, but football has changed dramatically, right? If you could pluck Cloughie from his pomp
Yes.
And put everything that he thought about the game and put that manager in today's game.
Yeah.
How would he get on?
He'd be a breath of fresh air because he wouldn't be afraid to literally speak his mind.
Yeah.
And that he had a level of... He would be absolutely refreshing.
You can't say words like that. We got rid of it.
Is it?
Yeah, you can't say...
You dumped it.
Yeah, we dumped it, yeah.
He wouldn't accept...
the BS. You can say the letters.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, he would be a breath of fresh air in today. I used to hang on his every word as a kid when he was on telly being a pundit. He used to be brilliant.
Did he make you the person you are today, do you think?
He helped shape me in regard. I worked for him from the age of 23 to 31, so real impressionable years.
So a young man to a proper
player to as a man, yeah.
Yeah, I love your Cluffy stories. Maybe we'll get more of them throughout the morning. Now, former New Zealand captain Stephen Fleming is expected to be appointed as England Test coach after the sacking of Brendan McCullum. We've obviously got Thomas Tuchel managing the football team, another New Zealander for the Test cricket side. Do you think it's a shame we can't find an English coach to take the reins?
In every sport, I would prefer an English coach to manage the England team of whatever sport it is. But there's a little bit of me as well that says, the world is so transferable now. You know what I mean? It is no surprise, really. And there's certain English managers that manage abroad now, and I'm sure they manage national teams here, there, and everywhere. So
would you rather have like an Eddie Howe managing England or a Pep?
I think somewhere down the line you're going to have to go with Eddie Howe and back him, because we saw with Gareth, sometimes it's not the best CVs at international football that get you success or a modicum of success.
Yeah.
And Gareth,
are you more likely to have it with a better CV? Are we more likely to be successful and win the World Cup or the Euros with Pep in the dugout or Eddie Howe?
Well, you would say probably the one that's perceived has got the better CV and achieved more. So maybe Pep. But somewhere down the line, if someone said to me, look, this is going to be our process going forward, we're only going to have an English manager in charge of the English team, would you back it? I'd say, yeah okay. I'll take that and take whatever comes with it.
I can't remember if I've heard your views on Thomas Tuchel's semi-final madness in the substitute. Have I heard that? Have you been quite vocal about it?
No, I turned around and said, listen, I've spent time in the technical area and I know how difficult it is. And, 6, 7, 8 days earlier, he had success by putting on a defensive formation which got him over the line in Mexico City. So I can half understand why he's gone down that route. What our biggest crime was not man-marking Messi at that stage of the game, because he became more and more integral in the game. All the Argentinian players were giving him the ball and saying, create something for us, will you? And we were that naive that we put a defensive rearguard action on that sat deep, which is fine, but left Messi out on the right wing in acres of space. If you stop the play, I said in commentary, I said, stop the play now. And before the game, how you stop Argentina to a certain extent is stop Messi getting the ball. He was the player on the pitch with the most room. So he was the one. So I think probably would have been better off playing a 4-4-1 formation and just put Jed Spence out on wherever Messi goes at that stage, because he become integral in the game, just man-mark him, which stopped the ball going to his feet.
Yeah. I think it was you that wasn't happy with Simon Jordan saying Thomas Tuchel should be sacked. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
Why were you not happy with that?
Well, the trouble is, it's a throwaway line. I always said before the major tournaments, I said, no matter how much experience you got, going to a tournament for the first time is a different experience. And he had learnt a hell of a lot from this first experience. And it's almost like, right, let's get rid of him and then let's put another manager in charge that's not been to a tournament potentially, and he'll take him a tournament to learn how you know, to prep a team for the tournament, what to expect during knockout stage, what to expect on the ground.
But was he? See, my view is that he was brought in, Thomas Tuchel, to win 2 matches, the semi-final and the final.
Yeah,
because we could sort of get to quarters without him.
Yeah, if you could guarantee the next man will do exactly that and get us and win us the final, I would say, well, fine, I'll take that all day long. But you can't guarantee that.
No, but I would have thought a man with his experience, having won big trophies, wouldn't make silly mistakes. My daughter was 14, who's just got into football, texted me when that sub was made. Daddy, why is he taking off an attacker and bringing on a defender?
Yeah, because he had a formula that worked 8 days previous.
When we had 10 men.
Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, he decided that's... The trouble is the outcome. Would we have all said, right, OK, he's going to make this substitution. Is it the right one now? But the decision is yours. People would have said, well, hang on a minute, maybe. But we wait till the outcome and then look back and say, awful decision, which is brilliant. When you know the outcome, football is easy.
I know, but at the time, we all said it, right? You were on comms. I was in a pub. Everyone around me was going, like, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? Are you going to invite him on for the next 25 minutes?
Yeah. No, I get that. And
no, I'm still angry, look. I'm still angry.
I can see that in your demeanour.
We would have beaten Spain in the final, you know that.
No, I'm not sure about that. But listen, we would never know. The bottom line is, I would rather him being at the helm, having got the experience. I think he'll be a better manager now for the experience at the World Cup. You almost have to go and experience a major tournament.
I hope so.
So giving a manager one tournament isn't the way forward.
Let's stay with football, shall we? I want to get your view on what Chelsea are doing. They're bringing in experience in Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson.
Well, 2 players I've worked with at under 21 level, you know, fantastic individuals, fantastic, good leaders, really good leaders. I think Jordan Henderson's probably one of the, if not the best in football leaders that we've got in the modern game at the moment. Incredible.
Yeah, no, I hear that a lot.
So, what they've done, they accumulated a lot of young players that look leaderless and rudderless, Chelsea. Hence, you see performances that were high and that were low, and they've decided, rather than the manager be the one to offer that leadership solely, they're putting people in the dressing room and identify
what I don't get, and I hear everything you're saying, right? And everyone who knows football and knows how important people like Jordan Henderson are tells me the same. But what I don't get is why he needs to wear shorts and a shirt. Why can't he just be part of the backroom staff to get that experience in the dressing room?
Because, and I found this out when I moved from player to manager, you can say things when you're wearing the same shirt and kit as the opposition and get away with that. You can be more forceful than you can. The day that you step into the coaching staff and you're one of the staff, the whole dynamic changes.
Okay, there's a divide.
There is a divide. There is a slightly different dynamic between that, you know, and I mean, Everton have got a great one in Seamus Coleman, you know, but people tell me Seamus, he goes in and rips the squad a new one on occasion, you know what I mean? If he was to step onto the coaching staff at Everton, the whole dynamic would change. He couldn't say the same things that he does as a player, that's why.
Because you feel he's one of you, right? He's
exactly.
one of us type of thing.
It's more accepting from the group, you know, and Chelsea look as though they need, well, not just Chelsea, I would say a lot of teams need leadership, and especially with the likes of, I don't know Danny, I've not worked directly with Danny since he was in the under-21s, you know, so, but Hendo especially, and I've heard Hendo, especially in COVID, he was incredible. When I was on the coaching staff at West Ham, you could hear a pin drop in the stadium when both teams are playing each other, and he literally coached the players.
I've heard that, Bentley's told me that as well.
Unbelievable.
Sunderland,
Incredible.
He was a young kid at Sunderland as well.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
But the dynamic changes.
So you think Chelsea will be stronger with both of those two in the dressing room?
They can't hinder, that is for sure. If they need leadership and they've decided, and it's quite an intelligent move, I think, you know, to say, what do we do? Do we sign a manager or get people on the leadership team to offer that, but the dynamic's slightly different? Or do we get people that we can put, like Trojan horses, that we can put straight in? I've been to see Odyssey, see? So it's that you put directly into the dressing room that can spread the message that you want to spread as such through those players.
Good work.
Thank you.
What's Odyssey like? Is it any good? Yeah, I'm a swig of water there, sorry.
Fantastic. Really good.
Is that the Matt Damon film?
Yes. Yeah, really good film.
In a nutshell, what is it about? Can you tell me in a sentence?
It's a Greek myth, not myth.
I mean, that doesn't tell me what it's about, though, does it?
No. It's about Matt Damon is the king of wherever he's king of, and he goes to fight a battle, and he's away like a decade, and he has to come back and reclaim the throne, basically.
Oh, okay.
There it is, isn't it?
Long film, though, right? It's like 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah. But it goes quickly.
Does it?
Yeah, it takes about 3 hours.
I don't think I could sit still for 3 hours anymore.
Could you not?
I struggle now. If I watch something with the missus, we sit down and watch that on Netflix, 45 minutes, I'm moving about, picking up my phone.
See, I've got a really high boredom threshold.
A really high one?
Yeah. So
what you mean, you've got to get to a certain level before you become bored?
Yeah, I don't get itchy or quickly, you know what I mean?
But you're not on your phone all the time, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
that's why I can go away to a World Cup for 7 weeks and be quite happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not, I'm in a
Kids would struggle with that. They pick the phone up every 2 minutes.
Couldn't do it.
Do you know what I did yesterday? Right. By the way, this is how sad my world is at the moment. So my phone, well, even though there's a million clocks in it, my phone's got a clock on it, right? As we all have. And sometimes I'll tap it just so it comes alive and I can see the time, right? Yesterday, I'm doing a show. I tapped this pad to get the time. Isn't that terrible?
Scary.
And what's going on in my head there to tap? I tapped it like that.
Your boredom threshold.
Yes.
And stupidity threshold.
Stupidity one, that's the one.
Through the floor.
That's the one, yeah. Reminder, there's only 3 weeks now. 3 weeks away we are from the Premier League kicking off again. talkSPORT, of course, we'll have you covered. Arsenal, they welcome newcomers Coventry to the Emirates. It's live on talkSPORT to kick things off on Friday, the 21st of August. Still to come on The Breakfast Show.
Hello, just there. Fell over there.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
I say still to come, loads still to come. We've only just started. We're going to head out to Portugal in a bit to check out our man in the Forest camp, Max Scott, who yesterday was forced to take on the dreaded bleep test.
Oh. That was terrible. Am I out?
Yeah, I'm sorry. How are we feeling?
My legs are gone. After about the fourth one, they were like jelly.
I mean, he's meant to be a fit boy, isn't he? After the fourth one? Embarrassing, that is. We'll be crossing over to him in about 45 minutes' time to see how he's gone and see if he's recovered. We'll also be playing out his exclusive chat with Forest star Morgan Gibbs-White after 8 a.m. That was our breakfast preview with our good friends at Travis Perkins. 6:48, everyone. Good morning to you all.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Thomas Tuchel, what he said, he's a key player for us, whether as a starter or as a substitute. The word substitute would even be uttered about Virgil van Dijk. Imagine someone saying that to Virgil van Dijk, even at 40.
No, I think
be a substitute.
No. You're massively cherry picking.
I'm not saying. No. Sorry, they just played the clip. No. They just played the package, and it was Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, saying he's a key player for us, whether as a starter or a substitute.
This is appalling from you. This is the very definition. You know when Donald Trump's moaning about fake news, it's you.
Sorry, I just basically quoted what the England manager said.
Okay. How important is context? The reason that he spoke like that is because he was accused of taking an injured player to a tournament. So the reason that he said he's going to be a key player for us, whether he's a substitute or whether he's a starter, is because it was suggested that you shouldn't take a player who has had an injury-ravaged season.
Oh, no.
So therefore,
injury-ravaged career.
Injury-ravaged career, fine. But the reason that he was talking about being a substitute...
I feel bad here because you're about to make me bury John Stones, and I don't want to. I think John Stones is a fantastic human being, fantastic defender.
You're not going to bury him.
Maybe England's greatest defender... Maybe it's 50.
Good morning, everyone. It's just coming up to 6:51. It's the talkSPORT Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, alongside superstar. It's Stuart Pearce. Stuart, can you ask me what we know on Thursday morning? Just say that. What do we know?
What do we know on Thursday morning?
Great question. We know that UEFA are holding an emergency meeting today, to discuss the possible option of European nations boycotting the World Cup after Infantino's plan to sell stakes in the competition. Should have thought of that before, you ridiculous idea. The Saltburn player at the centre of the alleged cheating scandal, are you aware of this?
No.
Has been suspended by the club for the foreseeable future. You not aware of this?
No.
So Saltburn are like an amateur cricket side, and so you've got the wicketkeeper. To the right of the wicketkeeper is this player that they've suspended, who could loudly click. And so when the bowler comes over, whenever the ball goes close to the bat but doesn't hit it, in theory, supposedly,
the snickometer.
He'll go like that.
Yeah.
The umpire will hear it, and he'll go, "Oh, he's out. He caught the bat." And then a video surfaced, what day is it, Thursday? I think Monday, of him clicking. And can you stop clicking in my ear, please? And so he's just been suspended by the club.
That's naughty, isn't it?
Clickbait.
Is it?
Yeah. You like that?
I think I've just heard one.
I think you just...
Was that first slip or second slip done that?
It's just the way I'm sitting. Derek McInnes has wasted no time in making big decisions as the Rangers gaffer. One of those is to make his former Hearts player, Lawrence Shankland, the new skipper. Skipper's very important.
Very important.
As we alluded to.
Someone he knows.
Yeah, someone you can trust.
Yes.
In fact, McInnes explained that decision yesterday. Have a listen.
The benefit Lawrence had, or advantage, Lawrence had, was the fact that I've got evidence of how well he's runs a dressing room, has experience of being a captain at Hearts for a few years now, and there was obviously a lot to consider, but I think a lot of things went in his favour as well. I think he's got the experience. I think we're still quite a young dressing room. He knows the club. Obviously, he's not long in before me, but he knows the club in terms of being a Glasgow boy and supported the club. He knows what's expected of him and me and the team this season. So, and obviously I've got a strong relationship, which always helps with these things.
Stu, you were skipper at Man City, right, when you arrived?
Yeah, I was Kevin's first signing.
Yeah. So. What was we should talk actually about Kevin a bit later on.
Yeah.
What advice would you give Shankland? What's it like being a skipper at a new club?
I think just ease your way in. Don't try and sort of change everything all in one hit. You've got to prove to yourself, to the dressing room, that they respect you as a player. You know, I went to Manchester City as a 39-year-old, and Kevin said, you'll be the captain. Also, I was on the coaching staff as well, so I had a sort of dual role almost, you know. So, but very similar to probably Henderson. We've talked about Henderson and Welbeck going into the Chelsea dressing room. I was in the Manchester City dressing room as a 39-year-old player, with a mentality of I've come as to be helped out with my coaching badges and get on my move from there. And Kevin was an incredible mentor to me. But yeah, I think ease your way in. Don't sledgehammer to crack a nut.
That's good advice, yeah.
Good advice in whatever you do, I think. Get to know the dressing room, get to know each other.
Yeah. Okay. Back to football in just a moment, but let's turn our attention to horse racing. Another glorious afternoon at Goodwood yesterday. The standout moment of day two, of course, was Bo Echo winning the Visit Qatar Sussex Stakes. It was live on talkSPORT 2. I'm delighted to say that talkSPORT racing legend, commentator, Mr. Ding Dong himself, Rupert Bell, joins us again. Morning, Roops.
Good morning, Andy. Morning, Stuart.
Morning.
Yeah, it was just the most magical race. To see Bo Echo. Oh, well, here we go. Already, straight away.
What? I haven't done anything.
Oh, well, someone has.
Go on.
Anyway, Bo Echo. I'm trying to... Oh, they're very clever. Anyway, I did break another glass yesterday just to make you feel even better, Andy. I went into the coral box yesterday and I was having my leg pulled because they'd heard my yesterday's incident where I smashed the glass on air. Well, I walked into their box and just sort of knocked the glass straight away off the table. I couldn't... anyway, so I'm sure John Hills might be alluding to that a little bit later when you speak to him. But in terms of the Sussex Stakes, that was just an epic contest because with half a furlong to go, it didn't look as if the horse was actually going to win. But somehow he sprouted wings and came through to deliver a magical victory. And
I know you should not naming him.
Well, I think I've just probably. I think we know the name of the horse by now.
Well, people
Andy.
might have just turned on, Rupert.
Well, basically, it's a bow, and then basically it comes back at you every so often.
Double bow. Double bow.
Yeah, well, anyway, whatever it is, Andy, it's maybe it is a echo, 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 bow echo. Anyway, there we go.
Okay.
But
let me ask you, are we looking at the next Frankel? I think we mentioned this on yesterday's show.
It may be premature to say that, but what he is now is a horse that is beginning to get a following outside the racing bubble. All sport needs these moments where someone transcends the sort of what goes on a daily basis. Bo Echo just might be that horse because he's ridden by an emerging star in Billy Loughnane at just 20. He's trained by an emerging training talent in George Bowie. And I think so it all fits magnificently. He's won 3 of the biggest races that you possibly can this year. He's emulating the feat of the aforementioned Frankel. If he continues in this vein, then yes, you might be able to put him in the same breath. But he's on the right path. And yesterday, with the tactics that were employed in the race, there was once again they did their best to make sure the rest of the field, and certainly some horses, to make sure he didn't get a fair run. But Billy Loughnane kept his cool and then was able to storm home on Bo Echo to come through and win. It was a great moment, enjoyed by that. You could sense it when the horse won. The reaction from the crowd was just magical.
Rupert, can I ask you about the going at the moment? Because it's absolutely bone hard everywhere. And what's it like at the track at the moment? Is it being well watered? Is there a cut in the ground at all?
Well, there's no cut in the ground, but I know they've watered. I spoke to the clerk of the course as we left the track last night. He's going to put 5 millimetres on the straight bit. The previous night, put 5 millimetres. If you look at the course, you see this fabulous strip of green, whereas all around it's basically parched. That is the length and breadth of the country. And racecourses, luckily Goodwood have their own water supply, so they're able to water. But if they didn't, it might be a very different story. It might not, but racecourses are going to great lengths to ensure that the ground is safe and as fair and fast ground. It's not going to be soft, that's for sure. But it's good to firm, something like that. So perfect conditions given what we've endured. Well, when you say endured, but the heat wave that we've been having over the last month or so.
Rupert, you're a star. It wasn't me, it was DJ Ed pressing that button, so I can only apologise.
Well, anyway, one more time, Ed. Bo Echo.
Good work. Still works. Rupert, have a great day. Thanks so much for your time, pal. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
No problem.
Thanks, man. Don't forget, you can hear every single race from day 3 at Glorious Goodwood over on talkSPORT 2 at 1 p.m. And to get you in the mood, you can also hear the preview show from 10 a.m. this morning. Still to come on our show, Rachel Riley will be with us in the studio. We'll hear from Morgan Gibbs-White. Barry Davis is on the show as well. And when we come back, we'll talk a bit of Jack Grealish. It's just coming up to 7 a.m. on The Breakfast Show.
Bo Echo.
Bruno Guimaraes from my Newcastle to potentially Arsenal. Now, the thing that's given me hope is actually related to fishing, Charlie, because he's been fishing on his holidays.
Is he?
I'm not sure if he caught a £14 common carp, but he was wearing a Newcastle bucket hat, and that is something I'm massively clinging to at the moment, Crookie. But where do you see this deal right now?
Well, I think I'm right in saying he's due back at training on Friday, and at the moment there's no suggestion that he's going to follow the Alexander Isak playbook and down tools or refuse to train in order to force this move. It's no secret that he wants to join Arsenal and that Arsenal want to buy him. I think the bone of contention with Newcastle is there's not actually been too much direct contact between Arsenal and Newcastle. So a lot of this is playing out in the media. Eddie Howe is frustrated about that. The hierarchy are frustrated about that. I still think if Arsenal make a bid, and he's got an 8 at the start of it, £80 million, I think Guimaraes will be sold.
Is a cheap option for them. Marcus Rashford, do you think? Cricky.
Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out.
We can work 7:05. Can't be a bit of the Beatles, can you, in the morning? Good morning, everyone. You're waking up to the Breakfast Show on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, and Stuart Pearce. We're here with Arnold Clark. The perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing. When you buy a used car in the upgrade event, check it out online. Why are we playing this? What's it called? We can work it out. Why are we playing it?
We've got Rachel Riley coming in for the quiz. Is that why?
It could have been that reason. That's a great answer.
Is that not the right reason?
No, it's not the right answer. It's to do with something we've already spoken about. Turn it up a bit, Ed. I have always... This must cost talkSPORT a fortune, by the way. This is millions to play, isn't it?
Infantini.
Go on, we can work it out. No?
We can work it out.
No. It's to do with the year it came out.
66.
Yeah, it was number 1 when England won a World Cup.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. We can work it out. That's quite ironic, isn't it? Because we did work it out.
Yeah.
Legendary commentator Barry Davis will be joining us in about an hour's time. Before that, though, it's time for a bit of this.
Grealish, 1-0 Manchester City.
Jack does get fouled a lot because he carries the ball so much, doesn't he?
And
he
by the
runs
way,
at people and they feel he's a threat. That's why he gets hammered.
It was seeded in the media's mind very early that he's a party boy.
He's a fantastic talent. We all know that. He's different to a lot of those English players. You know, he's a ball carrier.
2023, Manchester City, treble winners.
There was a reason why Jack Grealish is no longer considered to be an elite footballer worthy of being at Man City. Some of that may well be because he doesn't perhaps conduct himself in the way that an elite footballer should.
I don't see him staying there. I see him moving on.
Where?
It wouldn't surprise me if he moves somewhere else in Europe. I don't see him staying in the Premier League.
Played some good songs today. We're talking about Jack Grealish a year on from his loan at Everton, where he had some good moments, actually. Jack Grealish has returned to City. However, he's been left out of their pre-season tour to Asia. What does that tell you? Why has Maresca left him out? It's a worry, isn't it, if you're a Grealish fan?
Yeah, maybe he's not fully fit. He's coming back from this foot injury, so I'm led to believe. So maybe he's not fully fit. That might be the reason. Whether he's in the plans there or not, I don't know. I can see him going out on loan again.
I mean, he had a good season on loan at Everton. Why do you think they haven't re-signed him?
Well, he's been injured since January, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so he's been
that would be the main reason.
Yeah, difficult to tell. Maybe David wants to go in a different direction. I think they were pleased with him while he was there.
I think so. I think the fans liked him.
Yes.
Well, maybe to give us more, let's bring in the man who is in the know up there, Manchester football correspondent Jamie Jackson joins us now on The Breakfast Show. Jamie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy.
Thanks so much for coming on. What is the latest with Jack Grealish?
Yeah, you touched upon it there. He's been left out, as I understand it, because he's still recovering from this foot injury, which I believe the surgery, the procedure was February, and that obviously ended his season. It's interesting what Stuart says there about the loan. The thing is, for City, he's only got a year left on his contract, right? So a loan isn't much use, because what that then means, you know, there won't be a fee, like a transfer fee, because by the end of that loan, he'll be out of contract, and obviously he could go on a free. So it's gone a bit quiet. I went to Enzo Maresca's opening, unveiling media conference last Friday, and the way in which he spoke about him was kind of, I won't say damning with faint praise, but he sort of said, he's one of my players. It's up to me, like with all players, this is Maresca speaking, to improve him. And at the moment, he's a Manchester City player. Let's wait and see what happens, in essence, is what he said. So, you can read from that, you don't really need to be much of a sort of soothsayer to understand that it doesn't feel like his future is at City. Obviously, in football, things can change. They might get a couple of injuries. I hope they don't, but, on tour or whenever, and it might give him an opportunity. I personally think he did pretty well at City. The one thing, he's never been a massive goal scorer, but if you look at his record, he only ever scored 17 goals for City. I'd suggest that it's a bit below par for any sort of top forward at any kind of club. But in terms of, he was an integral, he was a key part of the treble winning season. I know that's 2 or 3 years ago now, don't get me wrong, but you understand what I mean? He then played in the sort of FIFA Club World Cup, he was in the final, played all those sort of games. But he just sort of lost his way a little bit. And also the other thing I'd add is, there was always this thing that, Jack Grealish's been sort of constricted a bit by Pep Guardiola because he's a maverick and he has to play in a certain zone. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, because De Bruyne played his own way. Doku plays his own way, so I wouldn't necessarily put that at Pep's door. It just hasn't quite worked out, maybe. But he would say, and he can say, well, look at my trophy cabinet.
Is there any suggestion at all? You say that Jack's going into his last year of his contract, so I can understand him not going out on loan. Is there any suggestion that he might sign a new contract at all? Have you heard any whispers on that?
It's a very good question, Stuart. No, I haven't. I would be surprised, but as I sort of said, you never know in football. I think, listen, it might be a loan if push comes to shove and there's no other option, but I think in the end it may well be a sale. I mean, what are we now? We've got 4 weeks left of the window until the 1st of September. So, there's a bit of time there. So, I would say it's a 70-30 split that it's a sale, for him. Obviously, at the time, if you remember, he was a British record transfer, right? 100 million from Aston Villa 5 years ago, I think it was, 2021. They'd be lucky to get 40 because of the contract situation, because of everything we're discussing, sort of the way his career's gone the last year. You're right, he did do well at Everton, but sadly for him and for Everton, the injury sort of curtailed last season. And it is a little bit interesting that, maybe it will occur, as I say, as it gets towards the 1st of September. It's a little bit interesting that Everton haven't gone back for him.
It's a weird scenario, isn't it, Jamie? Because I sort of feel all the fans love him. He's very successful. He was a huge part of that treble-winning side. A great player to watch, bundles of skill. But I sort of feel no manager feels the same.
You're completely right. I mean, he is a cast-iron, lovely human being, if I can put it that way, for all sorts of reasons. And then the football itself, I mean, personally, we all have different tastes, of course, but I love this sort of player. A Maverick, but a Maverick who's also, he was disciplined enough to be, as I say, a key part of Pep Guardiola's greatest team, you'd have to say, right, the treble-winning side. I mean, that's on his CV, so you're right, Andy, it is a bit of a strange scenario. But as I say, I would suggest he could be an amazing signing. I would still say for a top club, you never know. There might be a situation where it gets towards the last 2 weeks. We don't know who's going to be sold or who, a top club can't get a sort of top target. And they might look at it and think, you know what? For sort of like, I don't know, 30 or 40 million, let's buy Jack Grealish. So let's wait and see. I think he is good enough. He was an England sort of player in the Euros, the one that we hosted, 21. Did very well in that tournament. I know I'm going back a few years, but he's still only 30. It's up to him as well, obviously, where he wants to take it. But hopefully, from his point of view, he is going to get back fit very soon. And there has a pre-season, and I could see a scenario definitely where he's back flying in sort of 2 or 3 months. And thinking, that's great. He's had a resurgence.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you're right. One more on City, then we'll move on to United. Rodri being heavily linked with Madrid. Where are we at with that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is an interesting one. I would say that he's on record basically saying he'd like to play for Real Madrid. I think it was the March international break. Real Madrid have sort of, started discussions with City, as I understand it. So, yeah, I think the more this summer goes on, the more it becomes inevitable. Again, you never know in football, but he's only got a year left. Okay, so if they make us, I think they're talking about 40 or 50 at the moment, Real Madrid. Forget about that. I think they'd have to look at 60 or 70, maybe a little bit more, which I know might sound a bit over the odds for a player just with a year left, but it's Rodri, right? He was the player of the World Cup. I could go through his CV. It is phenomenal. For me, I think he's the best player in the world at the moment. He just controls games, whatever level it is. So I think City will do very well for him. Maresca, especially in his first season, to still have him as a player come 1st of September.
I agree. A quick word about Man United, how are they shaping up for the season? Any the laugh says it all, doesn't it? Any players you're expecting to come into Old Trafford?
Well, the list of midfielders is as long as sort of, all of our arms combined, probably. I could go through them all. Kone, Wharton's on the list, Belieber, et cetera, et cetera. The Edison thing fell through. They're after a left back. Lewis Hall's on the list for that position. I've done a piece this morning in The Guardian saying, look at the central defence 5, who are all good players, but for differing reasons, injury concerns, or being injured like Martinez, or being youthful like Yoro and Heaven. I'd say that's just a tricky area of the team. That's just one example. If you look at what the business they've done, Andy and Stuart, compared to sort of their rivals, Chelsea, Spurs, what Arsenal are trying to do with Vinicius Junior, the most United have spent is 48 plus 2 for Andre Santos. They may still pull out a big one, but I would say at the moment, not looking great. But again, 4 weeks left of the window, so hopefully, but they will improve it. But from what I'm told, they may have money, but they're a bit reluctant to go for the blockbuster, if you want to call it that, transfers. And I'm sorry to say,
why
in
is
this
that?
market especially, that's where you have to compete. If you I cover United City for a living, obviously, and United, top club, they need to buy 2 or 3 top players, I suggest.
Why is there a reluctance to buy a big name, a blockbuster?
That's a very good question. As I'm told, they do have money, and it's Jim Ratcliffe who sort of controls the money, but maybe an unwillingness. It might be to do with financial fair play, but they're back in the Champions League, right? So they've got that income, sort of coming down the road. So it is a little bit odd.
Yeah. Can I ask? Sorry, you follow United, of course, and City. How many players do you think United need this season? Because you mentioned the defence, 2 centre halves. I like them. I just don't think either are good enough. You mentioned the left back. I mean, Luke Shaw, I think, played every single game last season.
Yep.
But obviously, such a cliche, isn't getting any younger. I still think we need another attacker. There's a lot of players that United need to bring in.
Yeah, I would suggest you need 4 heavyweight players, sort of elite players in basically the positions you mentioned plus midfield. So left back, centre back. You could argue for 2, like you're saying, midfield, a striker, and actually right back. How can I say this politely? Dallo and Mazraoui are great pros, but I just don't think they're elite. If you look at sort of other teams where they're going with it, so it is. Michael Carrick as well. Remember, Andy, he's got 4 competitions. To compete in this season. It's not his fault that, but what I'm saying is he only had 17 league games last year when he came in because United were out of all the other competitions. Big test for him. And you look at that squad, I'd say the depth. Even your first team, if I can call that, because I know you're a fan, even United's first team, it's okay, but I don't know. 4 competitions, I would suggest it's going to creak a little bit. They're in the Champions League. I'll be lucky enough to sort of cover them home and away in that competition, for example, and I don't know. But there are 4 weeks left. Fingers crossed for United and United fans, right?
Yeah.
Just, can I seek your opinion on this? United finished 3rd last year, got in the Champions League. Do you think they've done that? I thought it was an incredible achievement from Michael and his coaching staff to do that. Do you think they've done it on the back of maybe the rest of the league not being as strong last year, or do you think it was a standalone brilliant achievement?
I always say, Stuart, that sort of question is standalone because the league is the league. And they still had to, if you remember, I think his first game, Carrick's, was City at home, the derby. They beat them, and they beat Arsenal. He beat a lot of top teams. They only lost 2 games and let in 18 goals. So I would put it definitely at Carrick's door. He had, I always think, Cover United was discussing, the Ruben Amorim thing. The end of it was chaotic. Yes, he was scattergun all over the place. And Michael Carrick sort of picked up the club and really sorted it out. So it's a massive feather in his cap. I was really impressed. He's got a very calm demeanour. The players love him. He's obviously a top player, as we all know, which helps, I think. It's not the key, but I think it helps. So I would say massive feather in his cap. But I am interested because if he had in those 17 games last season, plus the 3 of his previous temporary caretaker incumbency at United, he's only done 20 games at elite level. Basically half a season. That's not his fault. But what I'm saying is this is a big test now. And he needs a squad for him to have a fair crack at it.
Jamie, what a pleasure. I really enjoyed that chat. Thanks, man, for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. That was the Guardian's Manchester football correspondent, Jamie Jackson. A reminder, talking to Man United, they travel to Hull. It's live on talkSPORT on the opening Saturday of the Premier League season. That's the 22nd of August at 12:30. A bit of a lunchtime kickoff for you there. Coming up, oh dear, Stuart, get your pen ready. talkSPORT Breakfast does count down. It's 18 minutes past 7. Got those numbers right? I'm curious, Oliver, after that initial discussion where you said you were leaving the club and then you did remarkably well, you became the most successful manager Palace have ever had. Was there late on ever a discussion to try and keep you at the club?
No, I was very clear in my message, and I told the players before I announced it publicly. I told the players before, and I told them the same because many had concerns. Can we end the season successfully? And I told them, if they now drop the standard, I would feel that I failed. Because this was always the message, don't do it for the manager, it just makes no sense. Do it for yourself, do it for the group, do it for the fans, do it for the club. And I think then winning the Conference League just showed that we created a different mindset, that we set different standards in the club so that the players are ambitious, they want to play European football again, that they want to win silverware. And I think this was, for me personally,
Moving up is Hakimi in space towards the edge of the area. Squares it in field, but Barcola 2-0. Superb counter-attack from Paris Saint-Germain, and Barcola scores against Chelsea again.
7:22. Good morning, everyone. It's the Breakfast Show. Talk Sports, me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce. We'll talk about Bradley Barcola in a moment, but I just want to let people into give them a little insight into the world of Stuart Pearce. Now, we just got our Costa coffees, right?
Yes.
And I asked you if you wanted a biscuit, and you went no. And then in return, you asked me if I wanted some chocolate sprinkles, and I was like, what's that all about? You went into your bag and you pulled out your own chocolate sprinkles that you carry about with you.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
I took 3 sachets to the USA, and wherever I went out, if I thought I was going to have a coffee after, I carried my sprinkles with me.
What? That must be
and
rage.
Brown sugar.
Why do you carry your sprinkles with you?
But because a lot of coffee shops do not do the sprinkles on top, and I enjoy chocolate sprinkles on top of my cappuccino.
Wow. I mean, it obviously gives you that much of a flavour, right? I didn't think it was that important.
Well, it is to me.
Okay, fine. Look, I'm not arguing. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking to take your sprinkles. I have to have a biscuit now every time I have a cup of tea or coffee.
Well,
that's bad, isn't it?
That's a great addition.
That is a great addition.
You've become a USA kid, that's why.
Oh, the food.
Yeah.
I mean, Angelina's just walked in. The food, Angelina, hello, welcome back. The food in America was so bad for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was awful. The portion sizes. We were staying in a place in Boston where the appetizers were like more than enough for your lunch.
It's insane, isn't it?
They had pizzas as appetizers.
Yeah, I tell you what we've done at breakfast time. We've become a sharing situation. So we sort of had the fry up, and one of us would have the pancakes, and then have half and half.
I mean,
so
you could have got. I mean, I got granola and fruit a few times. You could have done that.
Yeah, but where's your fry up?
Oh, you need your fry up, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you know when you walk in, think, bacon sausage. I fancy a little bit of
You know
that,
what we need?
but I fancy something sweet.
We need our next coffee break.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, the music of Countdown. That's because Maths Whiz and, more importantly, Countdown legend Rachel Riley will be in the studio later on this morning to get us in the mood. We're going to have some fun and games with Angelina Kelly.
Yes, so I'm sure everyone knows how Countdown works. But
Sim doesn't.
What?
Yeah. No. So Sim, this is what he
was
said.
just dancing to the music, saying how good the music is, but we don't know what they're doing it.
This is what he said to me this morning. He went, "Yeah, we'll have some fun with the letters game," and I went, "I'd rather numbers." And he went, "What's that?"
Oh, right. Okay.
And I went, "What are you talking about? The number?" He went, "No."
Well, that didn't quite get back to me because this is going to be a mix of letter games.
No, we're not doing letters.
Numbers.
I told you we're not doing letters.
And softly anagram. Shall we give it a go and see?
Oh.
We're going to put both of you to the test because we've got to do everything, haven't we? So the 30-second countdown clock will start on each one.
Okay.
And whoever has the longest word or the closest correct number, etc., will get a point. So first up is the letter game.
Right.
So pen's ready.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 9 letters and you've got to see the longest word that you can get. So the letters are B.
Yeah.
R.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah, I've got one already. Yeah.
S.
Yeah, for sugar.
M.
M for Michael.
But yeah.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
L.
For Larry.
Yeah. C.
Yeah, there's a lot of letters here.
A.
A. And we've
Okay.
got 30 seconds.
Your time starts now.
Right. I think 2 letters wins it, Stuart. Oh my God. Right. No, that's not a word. No, that's an abbreviation. Oh my goodness. I haven't got one yet. Okay, I've got one. Right, I've got one. Hold on, let me just check.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one.
So you could.
I've got
get-
4.
Okay, you've got
4.
4.
Us? Don't give me the letters to spell.
Fair point.
Fun to begin with.
Listen, you came with a word. That's the most
I've got
important
arse.
thing. Yeah.
I've got the arse. Have you got the arse?
I've kept it clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I've got bread or slams.
Or slams? I was like, he slams the door.
Yeah, okay. You get that, yeah.
What? Sorry, what are you doing
sound
now,
so
Angelina?
surprised.
No, I'm looking here. I was just double checking.
Get that. Hang on. So how does his arse get through the door?
No, but
that
you win.
quick?
You get the point.
I'm putting that much weight in America.
And you're questioning my bread and slams.
Stuart, don't talk about my arse, all right?
I was merely making sure, but yeah, that's correct. You get the point, Stu.
So my arse counts for nothing?
No, your arse counts for nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was sliced bread for a minute, but obviously...
The 9-letter word was scrambled, and you were just talking about breakfast.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay,
Was
shall
that
we...
potluck, or did you do that on purpose?
I can't reveal, don't you worry.
Yeah, that's
It was
potluck.
Shall we get to numbers now?
Nothing is put in that much detail on this show. Right, numbers now. I
so
fancy
I'm going
this.
to give you 6 numbers,
Okay,
and you've
I
got to
fancy
try
this.
and get as close to the total that I'm going to give you.
Or the total.
Yeah, or the total,
Okay.
yeah. So the
good
6
at this.
numbers
Yeah.
are 3,
Yeah.
9,
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
50,
50.
50,
Yeah.
75, 75,
Oh, I don't like that one.
and 25, 25.
And what have we got to get to?
And the number you need to try and get to is 386. 386. Your time starts now.
Okay. Doing that. Hold on. No. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's that. And then I could times that. Oh, I'm usually good at this. Oh, fuck. I'm usually good at that. Shit, what you got?
I'm not sure. At the moment, I've got...
Can we have another 30 seconds? Can we have a 30 seconds?
Producer Sim, can we have another 30
Yeah, go on,
seconds?
stick it on again. We're close to it. Go on, one more time, Ed. I'm close to it. Right, because I made the mistake there. Yeah, I know this is unbelievably good radio, but I'm going to get this number. I need to get to 4. I need to get to 400 basically.
A lot of scribbling going down here.
That's right. Oh. 35.
Oh.
What's that?
Andy,
What's
might be onto something here.
3 that's 1 4 times 400.
No, I've given up.
10. I've got 390.
How did you get to 390?
I did 75 plus 25 is 100.
Yeah.
3 plus 1 is 4.
Yeah.
4 times 100 is 400. 9 plus 1 is 10. Take it away.
Okay.
That's not bad, is it?
Sure, you gave up, didn't you? Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you how to get to 386. I'm going to leave that to Rachel Riley.
Not that tricky, but it's eventually there. If you say 75 plus 9 is 84, 3 plus 1 is 4, times the 2 together for 336 and add on the 50. So not the easiest, not the hardest.
No, it is the hardest.
Not the hardest.
Double old that. That was ridiculous.
I know Rachel very well, and I've got the train back from Manchester with her a few times from watching United, and I've said let's play the numbers game, and she's got it on like a computer.
Wow.
Where it come random numbers, and everyone she gets like that. And I got probably 1 or 2. I mean, her brain is frighteningly quick.
I don't know if we've got time for
We've always got time for this, yeah.
You know what? Let's go for it. So the final round is called the Countdown Conundrum.
I'm so bad at
It's
this.
a 9-letter word where the letters have been rearranged to give you a clue to what it is. So you need to rearrange into a correct word.
Is it
or
breakfast
name.
related again?
Oh, is it breakfast? B-R-E-K-F-A-S. Breakfast.
So do you know what you
Breakfast.
Need to, no.
Oh.
So you know what you need to rearrange it?
Yeah.
It's the phrase, listen, God. And the clue is, the higher the hair, the closer to God. Not for this man, though. Your time starts now.
I didn't understand anything you just said there.
So
the words
listen, God. That is going to...
And it's another word.
Yes, or name.
Oh, a name?
The higher the hair, the closer to God. Not
I think I've got it.
Goldstein.
I've got it.
I just beat him, didn't I?
You did.
I just beat him. You know what? Do you know what was bad? I wrote "listen God" down and spelt the word "listen" wrong. That's how bad I am.
I got God wrong. How do you spell listen?
O-N. L-I-S-T-O-N.
Listen.
Wow, listen.
Until
that's because of cuff, innit? Listen, young man.
Listen.
Well, that finished 2-1 to Stu, so I put my money on you and I was right.
Oh, you're right.
Well done.
Bring on Riley, say I.
Should he not lose about 8 points for spelling listen wrong?
Yeah.
At least I admitted to it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Angela, that was brilliant. That was great. I really enjoyed that. Thank
well
you so much
done.
for. Are you done now?
Yes, I'm done back tomorrow, though.
What are you doing today? The rest of the day, what are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing? Quite boring. Bit of washing, try and enjoy a bit of the sunshine, bit of cooking.
But you're not going to bed. A lot of people do your show and they go, I'm going to bed.
I'm going to see. I might do an hour or two or just power through.
Yeah, just power through.
Yeah, I've still got the jet lag, like I say, so I don't even know what time it is. So
No. Why don't you have a little
Did
kit?
you go to sleep straight away when you got home?
I landed, got home at 11 a.m, stayed up till 10 p.m, and I'm still struggling. I'm waking up at all hours.
That's unbelievable.
Do you drink alcohol?
Yeah, but not that much since I've been back.
Have a little whiskey before you go to bed.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Drinking is bad, by the way, everyone, kids, but have a little whiskey.
All right.
Have a lovely day, whatever you choose to do. Enjoy. That was all thanks to Costa Express. We are crossing block caps. Everyone's excited. Crossing to Portugal next. 7:32.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
It has gone crazy, but I think that you almost have to just suspend your reality.
And not the worst things about this crazy spending. How many in the history of the Premier League have actually landed?
No, that's true.
One.
I would say of
Virgil
the most
van Dijk. One
of the most expensive players in the Premier League. Like Romelu Lukaku is on that list twice.
Yeah.
And he failed twice. Paul Pogba is on that list.
Yeah.
Failed.
Harry Maguire's not failed, but
Yeah, I mean, Andrei Shevchenko at one point would have been on that list, failed. Fernando Torres at one point would have been on that list, failed.
Yeah.
There are countless examples of players who have moved for huge amounts of money, come with that level of expectation. And
Declan Rice has lived up to it.
Declan Rice has most certainly lived
Still
up to
too much, but he's lived up to it.
Well, Declan Rice is actually an interesting one because I would argue that if there is a £100 million player, Declan Rice is it. Declan Rice.
That's 100 million.
Declan Rice has.
That's 100 million.
Well, if you look at what Declan Rice has done since he's been at Arsenal, he won European silverware, uninspiring European silverware in my opinion, but he won European silverware at West Ham. He then went to Arsenal and was the catalyst to them ending a 20-year Premier League trophy drought. So yeah, I think if anybody is worth, he's been a stalwart of an England team that has had some relative success.
I almost think that's part of the problem. You're part of the problem then.
I'm part of the problem.
How can you say you think he's worth 100?
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
7:37, it's the Breakfast Show on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce, with his chocolate sprinkles and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Before we move on with the show, in the last ad break, you started telling me an unbelievable story. And wait, can you tell me on air? And you went, yeah. So do you mind backing up and starting again?
Do you want me to start now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, because we're in at the Forest camp in Portugal.
Yes.
Takes me back. My first pre-season, when I went back there as manager in 2014, I think it was, there was a few scare stories about the club not paying bills for this and bills for that, and the chairman was a little bit, difficult to deal with. So I thought, I'll go in and see for myself. So couple of weeks after starting the job, we're going pre-season. They've already penciled in a pre-season to Portugal. So fantastic. I went down the corridor to see Tel, the kit man. I said, Tel, everything okay for the tour? He went, no, we got a bit of a problem. I said, what's that? He said, chairman didn't pay Adidas last year for any of the kit, so they're refusing to send any stuff. He said, so I've got to go into town to buy all the kit bags and all the kit for the tour.
Wow. Why is the club paying Adidas? I thought it was the other way around.
No, I think they'll pay you for certain stuff, but if you buy an extra stuff or whatever, either way,
he just hadn't made a bill, so they
hadn't paid it.
So what do you have to go? Not kits.
Yeah, I think so. Training kit and kit bags to take and stuff like that.
Wow.
They didn't send anything through. Said you haven't paid the bill, so we're not sending.
That's insane.
I know.
On the back of that story, this is, I'm led to believe, 100% true. You can Google it. I have. And there's a tiny short film about it. In 86, where England played Argentina, famously, Maradona, Hand of God, the kit man for Argentina didn't have the away kit because they had to change. Obviously, they were going to be like a sky blue and a white stripes down. And they didn't wear that one for that game. They wore the sort of dark blue one. And he didn't have that kit. And I'm led to believe that either the day before or 2 days before, he went into a local market and bought all the shirts off a market stall. And when he brought them back, he had to put the numbers and the badges on.
That is incredible.
So the famous shirt that sold for like £9 million, Steve Hodges' shirt.
7 million.
7 million. That's not even a real shirt. That's off a market.
That's not a bad markup, is it? on
if you sell it on them on 10%.
$3 to 7 million.
Isn't that incredible?
That's unbelievable.
Sim, can you Google that and find that real? Yeah. Can you find that whole story?
I think Roger Miller had his name with black tape on the back of his shirt.
That's right. I remember that as well.
World Cup as well.
Nuts, isn't it?
It is incredible.
It is bizarre. If you look at the old shirts, I say old, like back in the sort of, obviously the 60s, but even going back to when you were playing, like late 80s, early 90s, the shirts were so much heavier, weren't they?
Yeah, much heavier. And no names on the back.
No names on the back, of course, yeah. But you obviously played in the Premier League, right? So you would have had your name on the back. Were you always 3?
No, Man City, I was 2, I think.
Oh, who's done that?
Well, when I got there, Richard Edgill had number 3. I really wanted 3.
You've got to give it up for Stuart Pearce.
I couldn't walk through the door as new captain and say, can I have your number? You know what I mean? Because I'm a team player. So I took what was available, and I think that was 2 at the time. I always preferred to wear 3.
Does 3 follow you about? Are you a lunatic with a number 3?
Are you trying to get inside my credit card numbers?
Is it 3333?
No, of course not.
No, but are you? If you were looking at 2 houses, and that one was number 3 and that one was 25, would you buy number 3?
I'm not manic like that, but I would class it as my lucky number.
All right. If you went to a gym, and you had to change, and there were lockers, all the lockers were available,
I would a memorable.
You'd
number.
hunt down number 3.
I would get a memorable number. Like the goals I finished on, 99 career goals. So 99 will be memorable to me.
Yeah, but surely
3 is memorable.
But what one would you gravitate towards?
3.
You would go for 3 first?
Yes.
Okay. Gravitate's the word, isn't it? Would you gravitate?
Yeah, gravitate.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Didn't sound right.
Yeah, drawn towards something.
Right, we'll stay with Forest. A certain Max Scott. Well, my goodness, he had his dreams come true yesterday. He joined his beloved Nottingham Forest on their pre-season tour of Portugal. We were joined live on the show by their skipper, Ryan Yates, and also the new gaffer, Oliver Glasner. Let's welcome in the man who probably can't believe he's like, I don't know what he did yesterday, apart from spend the whole day with the Forest squad. I'm guessing that was all he did. Let's speak to Max Scott, who took part in his first ever bleep test since he was a school kid. Max, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, fellas. That bleep test, honestly, was the most difficult physical thing I've done in my adult life. They absolutely, they had me as well. They started me at 11 kilometres an hour, gradually increased it. I got to 18, and I thought I would be knackered in terms of my breathing, etc., which I was, but it's my legs that went. Obviously, you've seen me, I've got sort of bamboo sticks for legs. So the power went up pretty quickly, to be fair. So that was probably the lowest part of the day. Some of the players and staff were watching along. And then, and all that's going to come out on socials, on YouTube later on. But then I went straight into an ice bath. And here's me trying to answer some Forest trivia while trying to catch my breath.
In what year was Nottingham Forest founded?
1865.
Excellent. What is the name of Forest's home stadium?
City Ground. World famous.
Well done. Which team did Forest beat in the 1979 European Cup final?
Malmo.
Good. Which iconic English defender and free kick specialist served Forest for over a decade and managed the club later on?
Stuart Pearce.
You're flying.
Psycho.
So, that was me in the ice bath. I did 5 minutes in the end. But, that was the low part of the day, boys. It's been incredible sort of beyond that.
Max, going back to the bleep test, did they not start you on level 1?
No.
That's not fair. That's not.
They started me at 11. Yeah. But I guess what it meant that the suffering didn't last as long as I thought it was going to. I did quite a long warm-up, and by the end of the warm-up, I was already sort of out of breath. But yeah, they started me at 11. I managed to get to 18. And the sort of medical staff who were sort of keenly watching, thinking this fella might keel over here, we might have to get a helicopter flying over the Algarve. They actually said 18's not too bad for an average Joe like me. Obviously, the players are a lot better. But yeah, no, it was... knackering.
Did they not let you have a go at shooting practice or anything like that? I mean, that's every boy's dream, right?
No, I mean, when I got there, the players were still in training, and I think Oliver Glasner runs a tight ship, and whilst I'm having a bit of a jolly, and the players are enjoying themselves, when they're not in training, but there's an intensity to it, and for example, last night I went to the club have got meditation in the evening at 9 p.m, so I went and meditated with some of the players and staff, and they're all understandably pretty, they've been worked hard all day, So I did some meditation, spoke as well to the research scientist at the club. And, it's fascinating, boys, seeing behind the scenes, the staff that they have at the club. And, Forest certainly doesn't have the biggest staff to Premier League clubs. But I spoke to Karina, who's the research scientist, who's putting it, she's got a PhD and she's doing incredible work in recovery, psychology. She led this meditation session where some of the Brazilian contingent who I'd played pool with earlier in the day, they actually fell asleep on the meditation mats. And it's interesting getting an insight from her about how the club are really at the forefront, and Oliver Glasner's really keen on bringing in staff to help the players in terms of recovery, psychology, mentality, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, fascinating day.
So sorry, when you say you spent the afternoon meditating with the rest of the squad, does that mean you went into a room, no one spoke, you sat there, you did nothing, and then you left?
Yeah, so the meditation mats were all laid out.
That's hardly hanging out, is it? That's a day at talkSPORT, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. No, I wasn't meditating all afternoon, boys.
Oh,
it wasn't like a silent retreat. This was at 9 p.m. for 10-15 minutes. But earlier in the day, there's obviously a big Brazilian contingent at the club, so played pool with them. They just had sort of a Brazilian barbecue with some of the other players. Had a pool tournament, lost it. Had a press-up forfeit with Murillo and Jay Cunha. Yeah, mate, it was absolutely crazy. The Brazilian lads are lovely, by the way. They're loving life.
Max, before we let you plug your chat with Morgan Gibbs-White, which we're going to play out later on in the show, can you quite believe what has happened to you over the last 24 hours? Because look, we're all very lucky with what we do with our lives. But the fact you're a lifelong Forest fan and you're hanging out with the squad in Portugal, it's a little bit nuts, right?
Yeah, now the amount of texts that I've had from mates and family saying, you know, what would sort of 9-year-old, 12-year-old Max be thinking? Yeah, I'm beside myself, and like you say, just feel incredibly lucky to be doing what I'm doing. But I've got to make sure that I maybe didn't when I interviewed Yatesy yesterday morning, Goldstein. You'll have seen it, but I'm trying to kind of keep my cool, because I don't want to come across as like, you know, I'm not asking the players for selfies or going up to them asking about, you know, I don't know, next season. I'm trying to keep it cool, really, do my job, you know, get the content and the interviews that we have, but certainly within and coming afterwards, coming back to the hotel with Lewis and sort of pinching myself a little bit, you know, thinking, crikey Moses, this is unbelievable. So yeah, it's been an incredible day yesterday. Got another day of it today. We're going to head to training and watch the players train under Oliver Glasner, who the players, by the way, are incredibly excited about playing under. They're loving life, and there's this real sense that there is an elite mentality at the football club, and they really think that the club has shifted from what we could say is the turmoil of last season and having 4 managers in one season to there being this sort of stable environment where the players really think that they can achieve something special, because Oliver Glasner has won pretty much everywhere he's been. So yeah, look, it's a childhood dream sort of stuff.
Max,
for me.
I hope you're going to show this level of enthusiasm next week. We've got you hanging out with Notts County. Is that all right?
We might send him a derby.
Not Derby then. Yeah. We'll do Derby for you. Is that all right?
Yeah. Piercy knows I'd love to go to Derby, absolutely.
Keep that down if I were you.
Stuff in their soup and... I'd love to go and hate watch Derby.
What would you put in their soup?
I don't know, I'd find something.
Okay. I hope it wasn't from that meditation afternoon. You've got your interview with Morgan Gibbs-White. We're going to play that out in just a moment, in about 10 minutes' time, 20 minutes' time. You enjoy that? He's a good lad? You got a lot out of him?
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy, and you know, incredibly open. You know, one thing Forest fans are really keen to understand is sort of about that horrific injury that he had, which stopped him playing in the Europa League semi-final second leg. You know, arguably maybe contributed to him not being in the England squad. So he opened up about that injury and actually how close he came to that being a career-ending injury, and then spoke a lot in detail about Oliver Glasner, the ambition under him, how happy he seems at the club, and you know what it's like to play for Mr. Marinakis Football Club. So yeah, incredibly open, and it'd be a good listen, that, boys.
It will be indeed. Keep up the great work. We'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks, Max.
Cheers, fellas. Have a good one.
He's getting paid for that as well. Can you believe that? On top of that,
he's so excited you can hear it in his voice.
He was talking to the captain yesterday, and I said afterwards, I wish my wife looked at me the way he was looking at him.
Yeah.
Frightening.
Yeah.
Next up, go on. I went high there like I was going to the break. You see that? Next, like that.
I saw what you've done.
Yeah.
I went on pre-season with Warrington Wolves, got invited to go because I enjoy rugby league, support the club. Fantastic. Exactly the same sort of similar excitement.
I bet it was, yeah. Very lucky we are with what we do.
Yeah.
Next up, we'll turn our attention to the Commonwealth Games. Dame Sarah Story will be live on The Breakfast Show after this.
This is probably one that Darryl would be more interested in because it concerns his beloved Liverpool.
Don't sign him. Don't sign him.
You don't want him?
No, not for that kind of money, no. We need a central defender. We need another midfielder. Yes, we need a winger. They spent 100-odd million on him. They're not going to do any more, and we need a right back. I just think, I look at his figures, and I look at where he is and whatever else. No, I'm not having it. Not having it. No.
Wow. See, I think he'd be a great addition to the Premier League. But in terms of the figures, obviously PSG were touting over the weekend. They wanted 145 million. I think the opening bid from Liverpool is going to be a lot less than that, maybe nearer the 80 to 100 million pound mark with add-ons. Will that be enough to persuade them to do business? Who knows? But Barker isn't signing a new contract as it stands, so PSG not necessarily in a strong position.
Why do you think he'll be a serious asset in the Premier League? Tell me what he can do in the Premier League. I've looked at all his data. I've seen his Champions League data. I've seen in France. Someone even put up a comparison with Cody Gakpo, and I'm not his biggest fan. Gakpo was pretty much ahead of him in a lot of the data. World Cup goals, Champions League goals, and I'm not no comparison, but you've just made a statement there that you want to see him in the Premier League and whatever. Why?
I think he's a top player. I think he's been a top player for France.
You listen to the Breakfast Show on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, former England captain, the legend Stuart Pearce alongside me. Right, it's Commonwealth Games time. What a games it's been so far. Let's cross to Glasgow now to get all the very latest. We can speak to multiple gold medalists in the Paralympic Games and now TNT Sports pundit, former British cyclist and swimmer, Dame Sarah Story joins us. Dame Sarah, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you all?
I'm good, very well. Thanks so much for coming. Do I call you Dame Sarah or just Sarah? I don't really...
Sarah's fine.
Does no one call you Dame Sarah? I quite like Dame Sarah.
I think it's at the beginning and then you just call me Sarah, but maybe that's just the Queen. I'm not sure.
Okay. Sarah, thanks so much for coming on our show. It's been a great Commonwealth Games. Every time we cross over to you guys, there's big smiles on everyone's faces, and there just seems to be a new story every single day. What has been your highlight of the game so far? That might be too tough a question.
That is that's so tough. I think it's just been seeing the greater number of parasports integrated into the Commonwealth Games. I've done the Commonwealth Games twice as an athlete. The first time in Manchester was one of the first times we'd had para-athletes from multiple classes involved. And then in Delhi, I competed in the women's team because there was no parasport events. So here to see all these additional medals across the sports. And of course, we've had so much great success across all the home nations. So I think it's a little bit of a cop-out, but just seeing that up close and live has been fantastic.
Stuart Pearce just asked me a question in the break, to which I said yes, that you've got both sets of games, the Commonwealth and the Paralympic, running side by side. Does that happen every time the Commonwealth Games takes place, or is this a new thing?
Well, it's gradually built. So we had, for example, in the swimming pool in Victoria in Canada in 1994, we had just the S9 men and women competing. In Manchester in 2002, that was the next time. There was nothing in Kuala Lumpur in 98. And we just had two events, the 50 metres, 100 metres freestyle, everybody competing on a points-based system. Then we had some more opportunity in Melbourne, nothing in Delhi. And then since Glasgow, we have had more and more each time. Track cycling specifically that's starting this morning, up until this Games, has only ever had tandem events in. This time is the first time we get solo bikes. So every sport has had a slightly different path, but this is the biggest in terms of that integration for the able-bodied and the parasport.
Do you think that's maybe the shape of things to come? Will they do that at the Olympics, do you think?
Not at the Olympics. The Olympic and Paralympic Games themselves are two of the biggest sporting events on the planet outside of the Men's Football World Cup. But I think it's really an important thing to consider across the Continental Championships, the World Championships, the European Championships, and of course National Championships. And it is a format that does work. It's just not done as often as perhaps it should be. And it'd be great to see this blueprint being used across all the sports as we move forward. And then obviously for the Olympic and Paralympic Games, it's that 6-week sporting festival across the two different versions of the games that happens in the same city.
Can you tell us about the injury in the English cycling team?
Well, I don't have any details. I think that's still waiting to be released. But yeah, Matt Richardson, who is our one of our team sprint riders for Team England, he pulled out a couple of days ago with injury. So he's been replaced in that team already. So we're looking forward to seeing Team England. I'm just shuffling my papers here because we've got lists and lists of start lists to make sure that we know who's competing. But he has been replaced. So we're just waiting to find out this morning exactly who that's going to be. But yeah, unfortunately, this was Matt's first opportunity to compete for Team England, because at the last Commonwealth Games he was competing for Team Australia.
What should we expect from the games today? Another big day of action in front of us. What should we expect from that?
Yeah, huge action. Obviously, we'll continue back onto the athletics track. But now that the swimming's finished, the track cycling can get underway. And this morning we have the men's and women's team pursuits over 4,000 metres. We have the men's and women's team sprint qualifications. And the paracycling events also get underway with the women's tandem sprint and the women's C45 4,000 metre individual pursuit. So plenty of action. And to get the team events straight away on day one, we're in for a treat.
We are indeed. Another big day as well. Dame Sarah, do you end it with Dame Sarah? I know I start with Dame Sarah. Is it Sarah at the end or Dame Sarah at the end?
Well, maybe we should just start a new protocol here. Yeah, let's finish with Dame Sarah as well.
Yeah, I'd use it as often as I could. Dame Sarah, sorry, thank you so much. What a pleasure it is speaking to you. Have another great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks. There you go. How great was that? Multiple gold medalist. Now TNT Sports pundit, Dame Sarah Story. Brilliant work. A reminder, you can watch every event at the Glasgow Commonwealth Games exclusively live on TNT Sports and all HBO Max plans in the UK and Ireland. And, of course, a reminder that talkSPORT Network is the place to be for radio coverage. Natalie Sawyer, the legendary long jumper, Greg Rutherford are your top duo with live commentary throughout the games. Coverage begins at 7 tonight on talkSPORT 2. Still to come on The Breakfast Show.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
On this very day, 60 years ago, when Stuart was a ball boy at Wembley Stadium, England lifted the World Cup for the very first, brackets, and only time. So far. We'll reminisce next as we're joined by the legendary football commentator, the wonderful Barry Davis, will be live on The Breakfast Show. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins. It's fast approaching 8 a.m. Good morning, everyone.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
It's boxing. I said it in the interview the other day. It's heavyweight boxing. He got caught by a fighter who's had 20 knockouts. Yes, albeit Prenga wasn't a hugely recognised name prior to that, but you don't get 20 knockouts, without being able to punch. And that's boxing. And the reality is, as AJ showed, it's getting back up from that and building your way back into the fight and finishing it the way he did. Did I expect that in the first round? No. But he showed his heart, his determination, and everything that's got him to this point in the sport.
Are you into boxing conspiracies?
No, I mean, is Simon Jordan under the desk somewhere?
He's on holiday this week, mate. But I've got his tweet here.
Well, yeah, you've got Simon Jordan. You got the other guy.
Oh yeah, but Paulie Malignaggi was on a little earlier on as well. He said a very similar thing. So basically, Simon wrote on X. I'm sure people have seen this, that he wasn't having the fight and that something was not quite right, as it was designed to rinse the maximum amount of money. Do you agree?
I mean, did he confirm any more? Has he spoken about it verbally?
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards. So do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows. But as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Here we go indeed. Good morning, everyone. You're waking up to the talkSPORT Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, the wonderful Stuart Pearce alongside me. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car, get 2 years free servicing. When you buy a used car in the upgrade event, check it out online. If you were listening earlier on to our show, you'll know that Stuart Pearce carries with him chocolate sprinkles. If ever he's caught short. Like, not caught short in that way, but you need a hot chocolate somewhere.
Yes.
Do you put your sprinkles on a hot chocolate?
Yes.
You would?
Yes,
Is there not enough chocolate in a hot chocolate?
No. You need sprinkles on hot chocolate.
Have you put it on tea before?
No, you wouldn't.
Maybe can we try that out this morning? Let's try different drinks. We'll put it on tea.
I'm not wasting my sprinkles on tea. I'm telling you now.
What about if I use my own sprinkles on your tea?
You're more than welcome to do what you want with your sprinkles, my friend.
Have you got a little tub for your sprinkles?
At home, yeah, but
have you got
they're
a
in a
tub?
sachet now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So you only used half of it. So what happens to the? How do you make sure you don't get?
I've only used a fraction of it.
Yeah, but how do you make sure you don't get sprinkles in your bag? Why is that?
I place them in a very.
You're going to show me now, okay?
This is my.
Oh, I love that bag. You know I love that bag. It's got the England logo on the side. Yeah, it's a very cool bag.
It's in a little.
You've got a lot of stuff in. Can we have a little item where we go, what's in Stuart's bag? You've got a little zip on the side.
I have, and that's.
I bet they've come out though.
Where my business cards are.
Is that business?
Yeah.
Can I have that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can I explain to people what's on the back of it?
If you and your family
I can
need
show the back
someone
of it. I won't
to
show
come
the front
in,
of it. There's the front of it. It's Stuart Pearce's business card. That's the back of it, and that's just after you've taken a penalty. I think it was against Spain at the Euros, and that sort of moment.
So if your family needs some help with leadership, motivational speaking, or anything of that nature, that my details are on the back. So
Sorry, this is not your card. This is your other half's card.
Exactly. She's a better contact than me. We work together on these things.
What else is in Stuart Pearce's bag? What else is in there? This could be a brand.
Do you want to have a little look?
Yeah. What else is in there?
Well, Leeds given.
Not the football club.
No.
Charging Leeds.
No, not Billy Bremner.
What else we got in there?
Glass case.
Yeah.
You can never have enough diaries. So I've got a paper diary and an electronic diary.
And what's that in front of you there?
And this is
another little pad.
This is my
Premier League
notepad,
right.
And that's got all the teams that I've covered this year.
Wow,
so
that's nice.
All the games I've covered, the lineups and whatever.
Okay.
Is there?
What else
we got?
This is fantastic.
A daily planner, because you can never have enough diaries.
Show me that. Can I read some stuff out on your daily planner? Stuart Pearce's
things to do.
I can't even read. Hold on. What is haircut? Get nails done. Toes and fingers.
Talons.
Facial. Is this definitely yours?
Of course it's mine.
Oh, right, okay. This is amazing. Whose idea? talkSPORT contract? Blimey, good luck with that.
Exactly.
That's a lot you carry about with. It's quite a small bag.
Yeah. To be honest with you, headphones, obviously the music on the underground's needed.
Need that.
Chewing. Just in case, Lemsips.
Yeah.
So I've got full medical kit in here. What else? That's it. Oh, toothpaste, just in case it's needed.
Toothbrush or just toothpaste?
I've just got toothpaste, actually.
Okay.
I've got one of these googly things, but I don't know what's on it.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's like a memory stick
Yeah.
thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't know what's on it? We don't want to plug that in, do we?
No, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
Not at this stage of the day. And some more medical. So obviously, all good electricians carry a screwdriver.
Got a screwdriver, I like that.
Got a little,
That's
albeit
nice.
a little baby one.
Yeah.
That's it, really, I think. Yeah, that's it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What's in the side pocket?
Brown sugars.
You got your brown sugars
Go
from
with the
Costa.
sprinklers.
I like that. Good
Thank
work.
you. Thank
Good
you
work.
very much.
That's what's in Stuart Pearce's bag, if ever you've wondered. I'm sure you haven't.
Oh, and my black book with numbers of managers and whatever. This is going back from my playing days, managerial days.
You got Cloughie's phone number in there?
I would have thought so, yeah. Alex Ferguson, I got his number.
Hold on.
Dougie Freeman.
Dougie Fresh. Let's have a look at Alex Ferguson's number. Just have a...
Mike Ford.
Yeah, forget all them. You got Ferguson's number, have you?
Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, forget that. You got Ferguson's number, have you?
Yeah.
Should we give him a call in a bit?
No, I couldn't give this to you. Don't be. Daichi. Kerry Dixon.
Nice. I'll have a look.
Sean
I'll
Berry.
leave that out. I'll have a look.
No, I'm not putting it away.
We will. I'll have that later, by the way. Let's stay with football, and rightly so. It's 60 years to the day since England's greatest moment ever in football history.
It's a goal! All the Germans go mad at the referee.
We were just a damn good team then. And I always call that team, when I look at, we had some of the greatest players of any era, Banks, Charlton, Moore, Greaves. I mean, they would compete at any level for 150 years.
They're legends, aren't they? They were fantastic heroes, always will be.
The whole feeling of the World Cup being won did certainly change the team. I mean, Ramsey was later going to be knighted.
People would come up and, shake your hand and it was just, it was absolutely just different, completely different. It was fantastic.
Bobby always described it to me as being on top of Mount Everest.
I defy anybody to look at that film again and come up with a better final commentary than the great Kenneth Wilson had.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now. It's goal.
That is one thing that you look back and think, God, that was wonderful.
It's only 12 inches high, solid gold, and it means England are the world champion.
Wow. The voices there, the likes of Jim Rosenthal, Sir Bobby Charlton, Gordon Banks, Jeff Hurst, George Cohen, Steve McLaren. Let's bring in a man that can speak more on that game. He covered 10 World Cups in his career. He's an absolute legend. Let's say hello and good morning to the commentator. Barry Davies joins us live on The Breakfast Show. Barry, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Your comments are very kind.
Oh, my goodness. The word legend is used far too much in sport, but with you, we can definitely use it, Barry. It's an honour to have you on the show. When you hear commentary from the '66 World Cup final, how does it make you feel? Because I wasn't about then, but for me, I mean, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and it just brings back so many great memories from obviously seeing it after it actually happened. But for you, do you remember where you were when you watched the '66 Cup final, Barry?
Yes, just along the line from Kenneth Sportsman.
Wow.
He was alongside the ITV commentator.
Hugh Johns, that would have been.
Hugh Johns. I mean, your comment a moment ago, no commentator will ever beat that remark by Kenneth Sportsman. It was just so typical. But the atmosphere in the ground was marvellous. I mean, if England started the match now and were one goal down in 30 minutes, the crowd would probably be down. But the crowd lifted England up, and within 5 or 6 minutes, they were on equal terms. It was a marvellous attitude of the match, and subsequently all the people downtown, and the atmosphere was wonderful.
Barry, going back to what you were saying about that line from Kenneth, there's some people on the pitch, they think it's all over. Did he or you realise at the time just how iconic it would become?
I was too young to get that clearly in my head, I'm sure. And I mean, I hadn't been doing commentary until really the World Cup started, because ITV had to find the commentators, and when I say I was, asked for that, it was wonderful. But I was the new guy, and I just loved the crowd's attitude.
Barry, you've covered a multitude of World Cups. Would that still be your favourite, or is there other World Cups that you look back on fondly?
There are others, but obviously, I mean, it wasn't one that I was commentating on. And at that stage, I mean, my contract for the World Cup with ITV was about to run out, and I didn't know where it was going to go. Fortunately, I was lucky that people picked me up, as it were. But it'll never be a better match. Anybody who was at Wembley that day, and sadly, so many of the players and those involved are not still with us. So many of them, and that's very sad. Only 3 survivors from the squad, and only 2 from the team. It's such a good memory.
I have a conversation with many a football fan and even ex-pros about what they would like to see more: England win the World Cup or their team win the Premier League, and it baffles me, Barry, that the majority of them say their team to win the Premier League. I would love to see England win the World Cup, just for the feeling it would give the whole country. Can you remember what that feeling was like in '66 after we won it?
Yes, I can. I mean, it was so much saying, "Well done, lads." And I went down into town with not quite exactly with the team, but at the hotel that they all met at downtown. And the atmosphere was totally different in the football crowd from what it sadly is too often now.
Barry, my first memory of a World Cup was 1970 and Gordon Banks and his save against Pelé. And I met Gordon Banks subsequently. He became one of my sort of heroes. I wanted to be a goalkeeper when I first started out. And it was amazing when I first ever met him, which was going back into the 80s now, how humble he was. And was that the same with the rest of the players in the squad?
I would say yes to that. I mean, there was quite a bit of competition, and the bad luck of Jimmy Greaves, People had their opinions on the choice of the team, and think the Greeks should have been included, not in place of Hurst, maybe in place of Hunt. And they appreciated what the crowd did. And the player that's uppermost in my mind from the World Cup was the smallest on the pitch, I believe, Alan Ball. He absolutely lifted England in the dull moments, and he made so many runs down the flank. It was just quality stuff. And he unfortunately died in very sad circumstances.
Barry, football's very much changed since 1966. None so more than the introduction of VAR, which might have had a different view on one of Geoff Hurst's goals. What's your view on that goal? Did it definitely go over the line, do you think, because you were there?
Well, I thought it was there, and I thought that Hunt would go and add his foot to the ball, but he didn't. He didn't try to claim the goals. So the linesman, of course, the Swiss linesman, immediately as the referee ran over to him, took his flag in his hand and waved it, pointing to the centre. And he actually made the decision. The referee accepted it.
Barry, do you think we really built on the legacy of that World Cup victory in '66? I know we got to the quarters in '70, and then obviously it was a bit of a wasteland because we didn't qualify during the '70s. So do you think we missed a trick there a little bit?
Well, I mean, you can't say. I mean, in the World Cup, somebody works out the favourites. I mean, they played well enough to get to the semi-final this last time. But I hope I'll still be around in 4 years' time when they do it. It's got to come at some stage.
Barry, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you don't mind me telling people that you're 88 years young. You sound fantastic. If you don't mind me saying, how are you? Are you good? You in good health at the moment?
Yes, yeah, I do well. I made one good decision in my life, for sure, and that is I married the right wife. And I have a happy life.
That's fantastic. That's lovely. What a great way to end that
Fantastic.
question. Barry, a real pleasure and an honour. I don't think we've ever spoken before, and it was certainly a box I wanted to tick in my world, so I've ticked that today. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you very much for asking me. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
There you go, the legendary football commentator Barry Davies.
Well, it's just been iconic over the years. It's just incredible, isn't he? His experience that he's had is amazing. You know, people talk, I've had experience here, he's done this, done that. People like him have been there, seen it, done it.
Yeah, and also, and this is nothing against today's commentators, and I think this is to do with my age, but Barry had one of those voices. Brian Moore had one of those voices, right?
He always used to come in the dressing room, Brian Moore, to see Cloughie at London games. Yeah, he used to come in beforehand to see Cloughie and chat with him. Always come across as a really nice man.
Yeah, how great to have him on the show. Barry Davies, 88 years old.
I'll tell you the story off air when Elton John come in the dressing room at Watford as well.
I won't ask why that's got to be off air. It's 8:21. It's a breakfast show.
Up and said you got 10 players better than John Stones.
No, I said all time. I didn't say Prem, but let's stick to Prem. All right, let's do this.
Go on.
Virgil van Dijk, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, that's five.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we going Tony Adams?
Ooh, yeah.
No,
you're not gonna say.
No, but go on.
I would.
Campbell.
I'd do Sol Campbell, defo.
And I'm a Tottenham
Sol
fan.
Campbell, come on, JB.
Keep going.
I'm going Sol Campbell.
Yeah.
Gary Pallister.
Carvalho.
Mate, come on.
Carvalho.
Don't help him. Why are you helping him? Carvalho's not better than John Stones.
Carvalho. Ricardo Carvalho.
Jamie, hear me
give me
out.
a break, man.
On his day, prime for prime, one game for a final, Ledley King.
Yeah, Ledley King. What, you telling me Ledley King? Oh, come on, Jamie.
Listen, Jamie, not the career, but for one game in his prime.
I watched John Stones playing the Champions League final.
I know he was
City.
unbelievable.
He was unbelievable. So don't. Let's,
I hear it, but
like,
you know
come
what
on.
I think, yeah? I heard
You can't
Rory
be putting
and
Ledley
Addy
King
earlier.
above John Stones. He's won 6 Premier League titles.
Phil Jagielka, mate. Phil Jagielka.
Holy shut up, mate. Come on.
I mean, mate, Jamie.
Jolyon Lescott.
I would go as far as to say if Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld played in that City team, they might have won the same honours.
Gary Cahill.
I'm not saying as good.
I was just asking, good morning everyone, it's the Breakfast Show, it's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce. I was just asking Stuart about all his football memorabilia, and I said, where are the shirts that you wore in 90 and 96? And he went, in a box somewhere.
No, not somewhere. I know exactly where they are.
Yeah, I just didn't want to mention
in
it
a
on
box
there,
under the stairs.
Oh, you can say under the stairs, fine.
Yeah, under someone's stairs.
Okay, but I was like, can you bring them in next time? Because I know for you, it's just a shirt, but for us, for football fans, it's like it's one of the holy grails. It's like the iconic shirt that you wore. In
I would never say they're just a shirt because every one of them holds a brilliant memory.
I know, but they're in a box under the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I don't value them.
Okay,
because I don't have them on a wall in my house.
What one do you think is a bigger iconic shirt, 90 or 96?
Probably 96 because of the penalty celebration.
Okay.
That type of thing.
If someone phoned up and offered you 150 grand for that shirt today, would you sell it?
No, I probably wouldn't.
Would you not?
No, I think things like that can only ever go up in value.
Of course.
Can't go down in value.
No, and if you don't need to sell it, why sell it, right?
Yeah.
Please bring them in next time. It'd be amazing.
If I run out of sprinkles and I need to get some more sprinkles and I need some dough, maybe.
Okay. I hope that day never comes. Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Celebrating 100 years of rewarding the fans. We're here for glorious Goodwood. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Morning, John. How you doing?
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Stuart. Yeah, really good form. Thank you, chaps.
Good. Thanks so much for coming. We've got so much to talk to you about. We have to start with glorious Goodwood.
Yes.
It was glorious for the punters yesterday, not the bookies.
No, you're quite right. Bloodbath for the bookmakers, boys. First 5 favourites all won, including Bo Eckler. I'm not going to fall for that one that you had Steve-O with yesterday, Andy. You had him there right round your finger.
You're not going to what? You broke out. You're not going to what?
But it was a bad day for the bookies. 6 out of 7 winning favourites. And, yeah, you had Steve-O in the morning. Will it continue today? Well, it could well do because there's a few fancied runners this afternoon, boys. Diamond Necklace, the key one, the Group 1 Nassau Stakes at 3:35. She's an unbeaten filly, won the French Oaks and the French 1,000 Guineas as Aidan O'Brien's runner. So she's strongly fancied today, 4-5 to claim the Nassau Stakes. But I tell you what, I bet it was warm yesterday. I felt sorry for Steve-O with his jacket on and his straw hat. He's going to be absolutely roasted again today.
Let me ask you, Stuart made a really good point earlier on, talking about the ground, because obviously it's so dry at the moment. Does that make it so unpredictable for you guys?
Not really. It's actually the opposite, actually. The better horses tend to run well on good ground, which is firm ground. It's when it rains and, you have heavy and soft conditions that you get some unpredictable results. Tends to be, anyway. on flat racing. So we could do a bit of rain, I think, the bookmakers. And I think all the gardeners and farmers will be all wishing the same thing, won't they, at the moment? This drought is just continuing, isn't it?
The punters will be happy. Let's move on to the Premier League. Arsenal, of course, favourites, but I understand yesterday they drifted a bit. Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit. Look, it's early in the season, and they've been favourites since they won the title last season, since we opened this market. So they just drifted out slightly to 7-4. We've seen a little bit of nibbles for Chelsea, 8-1. Will they have a veterans team next year? A couple of pensioners in there with Welbeck and Henderson. The average age is going up, that's for sure, isn't it, Chelsea? A little bit of nibbles for them at 8-1, and a little bit of money for Liverpool, 6-1, and that could be to do with, obviously, the move, what they're linked with Bradley Barcola, the French winger. That'd be a great signing, that wouldn't it, Stuart, if they could bag the Frenchman?
Yeah, it certainly would. A big high-profile player as well coming through the door. That will be a real bonus for them. How are Manchester City viewed while I've got you on the line? You know, new manager coming in, end of a decade with Pep.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really. They're second favourites, naturally, at 11-4, but I can't report bags of money for them so far. Perhaps punters are just waiting to see how they start the season. I guess one factor as well is who's going to handle the post-World Cup fallout, because a lot of players are obviously coming back after a long summer playing, and Arsenal will be out Saliba for a while, and there's going to be some key players missing, isn't there, at the start of the season? And I think their form will drop a little bit as well, some of these top players. So that's going to be a factor to keep an eye on as well. But it'll be a fascinating season, won't it? Really looking forward to it. And my season with Rochdale will start Saturday, boys. We've got a Carabao Cup preliminary game against Tranmere on Saturday at Prenton Park. So it's an early season start for Rochdale. So I'm really looking forward to some competitive football.
Good luck with that, John. Before I let you go, I know she didn't mention Tottenham there in the running. Why is that?
No, good point. They're 25-1. I didn't look that far down the table. Apologies, Spurs fans. But
they're 25, are they?
They're 25. They did that season well, didn't they? And obviously a good manager in there. So, maybe that's too big of a price. Must mention Villa as well, 40-1. They're next best of the better. And Newcastle, 100-1. They are struggling. They've got beat by Bristol City yesterday, 3-1 in pre-season. So losing a couple of key players. So it could be a tough start for Newcastle this season.
While I've got you, sorry to throw you under the bus if you don't have it in front of you. 3 favourites to go down would be who?
Good one. No, I do have it, actually. And it is the Hull, Coventry and Ipswich.
Wow,
so 3 signs that, boring again. Hopefully that trend breaks. But Hull 1-6, Coventry 8-13, and Ipswich 4-6. So that's the relegation betting. And now I'm off. I need to watch a little bit of snooker, the Shanghai Masters. Looking forward to that this morning.
Wow. You're jumping on a plane, are you?
Snooker. I'm not going over there. No, I wish I was going out there. But I'm looking forward to seeing Zhao Xintong in action.
Yeah.
Obviously, former world champion. He's in action against Neil Robertson on the other table, Kyron Wilson and Mark Williams. So a couple of good matches this morning.
Yeah. Do you like Mark's new beard?
Oh, he looks like Santa Claus, doesn't he?
Does,
yeah, it's different.
It's very
bizarre.
bizarre.
You've got to love Mark Williams, though, don't you?
We do love Mark. We love you as well, John. Thanks so much for your time, pal. Enjoy the snooker.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, John. Thanks, man. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18+. Gambleaware.org. Coming up, you'll hear exclusively from a superstar at Nottingham Forest and England, the playmaker that is Morgan Gibbs-White on The Breakfast Show. It's bang on 8:30.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with the Coral Rewards Shaker. With 100k of free bets available online this Tuesday and Friday. We're here for glorious Goodwood. 18+, max 1 reward per day. Reward restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
chaps. How are you?
We're good, man. How you doing today?
Morning,
You all right?
Jeff.
You well?
I'm all right. Goldstein, are you on a wind-up with this Kane to Chelsea thing?
Well, no. I never said it. I asked the question.
Yeah, you done it on purpose, so I'd ring up, didn't you?
Sol Campbell went to Arsenal, didn't he?
No, I knew you was going to come
Tevez
up
went
with
to Man
that.
City. It happens. Definitely happens.
Listen. Kane is proper Tottenham. Don't you know that? Don't you know that?
I know he's proper. I know that. I don't think he would do that.
Of course he wouldn't. So why are you talking about it and winding me up
Jeff,
for?
Let me ask you this. Jeff.
I've been working all night on a night shift, right? I'm going home, right? I was all chilled out and relaxed, looking forward to going home.
Now you're all bitter and twisted.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
And now I switched, right? And now you're winding me up with this. I'll tell you what, if Kane goes to Chelsea, I'll do anything you say. Anything you want.
Well, that sounds weird.
Anything.
I mean, I would.
No.
There's nothing I would say.
No, if you want me to put an Arsenal shirt on the one down Tottenham High Road, I'll do it, right? I'm proper Tottenham. I was born in Park Lane behind the ground, right? From a baby till I was 17, right? My boy works there as a development coach, and I've worked there on and off, right, in different capacities. I'm telling you now, I don't even know why you even bother wasting time talking about this subject.
All right, if he goes to Chelsea, we get a Chelsea tattoo. We get a Chelsea tattoo if he goes.
Oh, that's a good shout.
You will.
Yes. Yes.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
.35, it's The Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce, alongside me. I just posted a picture on my Instagram, Andy Goldstein05, of the back of your business card. Oh. It's such an iconic picture. This is the picture, by the way, of Stuart celebrating after he scored that penalty against Spain.
It is. It's the picture I sign the most, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know.
That's the one people come up and talk. Is that the one people come up and talk to you most about?
Yeah.
That moment?
The amount of people who come up to me and said, I was at Wembley that day, and when you were doing that celebration, you were staring straight at me. I've had that conversation a lot of times with people.
You stare at a lot of people.
Probably about 4.5 million.
Can I talk to you about the 91, the miss?
Yes.
You don't mind talking about it, do you?
No.
Did that scar you at all mentally? We hear so often about sports, not just footballers, sports stars, talking about the mental side of the game and how it could have scarred them and it took time to recover and so on. When you missed that, was it? It was saved, right?
Yeah,
goalkeeper's Waddles went over the bar. When it was saved, in the dressing room afterwards and the flight back home, how long did it take you to recover?
I tell you what, it almost acted as inspiration for me because I just wanted all the players come back and everyone thought they'd done quite well because we got to a semi, lost in a penalty shootout, hard luck story. Myself and Chris Waddle, certainly myself, we come back under a cloud, do you know what I mean? So we landed in Luton. I just wanted to go back to Nottingham and just get away.
What was that plane journey like, though? Can you remember?
The plane journey, not so much, but when we landed in Luton, there's 250,000 people lining the streets.
That was the Gaza World Cup, right?
Yeah. It's just madness. So we got on the plane. It took us 6 hours to get to the hotel from Luton Airport to get our cars to go home. It was crazy. And so all the players are at the top of this open-top bus. And me and Chris are sort of sat downstairs thinking...
Oh, you really? You're out of the way?
So in the end, we've gone upstairs. Anyway, the following season was brilliant for me because everywhere I went, I got dogs abuse from the fans, which was brilliant for me because I thought, yeah, OK, then I'll show you. It's the best season I ever had as a footballer. I scored 16 goals, no penalties in that season. So, yeah, we got to the FA Cup final.
You did... Oh, yeah, of course, that was the Spurs Cup final straight after that season. I forgot it was so close. You did the Pizza Hut advert, right?
Yeah.
What would you think behind that money?
That was after 96.
Oh, okay. So you'd already scored the penalty. So
Yeah. So Pizza Hut contacted me and Chris Waddle and said, we want to do the Pizza Hut, little bit of fun, blah, 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 but we need you too, but we need Gareth as well. We need the three of you, otherwise it won't work. So... I rang Gareth and said, Gate, can I
just explain, because people listening might not know why you needed Gareth, and he also missed a penalty.
He missed a penalty, so
there's the connection.
That was the connection. Yeah. So, and the Gate had just missed a penalty a few weeks earlier for England in 96.
No, it's that recent, yeah.
And he said to me, no, I can't do it, you know what I mean? It's too raw, blah, blah, blah. And I said, come on, Gate. I said, look, it's old hat now, you know what I mean? People won't look at it like that. And in the end, I talked him round. I talked him round on the reason why we wouldn't get paid and the advert wouldn't get done unless we had him. So we'd done the advert, and after the advert, we sat there and he looked at me and he said, would you have really done this? I went, no, would I, Al? You know? But credit to him.
Not in a million years.
Not in a million years would I have done it straight after. Yeah.
Well sold.
I was convincing, you know.
Do you think that your career or even the mental side of your game benefited hugely from having the chance to take another penalty, whereas Chris Waddle didn't have that moment, did he, for England?
Yeah, probably did, but I'm a different animal. You know, I react to sort of a bit of adversity. Learned a lot about myself. Have we got time?
We've always got time for this.
After the German penalty miss in 90... I went into the dressing room and FIFA come in because they'd done two players from each
drug testing
to do the drugs test.
Yeah.
So it's me and Schultz from England and two German players. Walked down the corridor. I mean, bear in mind, we were in floods of tears and all that game. Schultz walked in, give a quick urine sample and left because he's a goalkeeper and fluiding up.
Did he pass it or did he drop it?
He did. He punched it, bounced it 3 times and drop kicked it. I sat for literally 2 hours with two German players and none of us said a word to each other. They didn't say a word to themselves. We all sat in quiet. I've no idea.
Did you acknowledge each other?
Just when you walked in the room and just sat there. I'd just lost a World Cup semi-final and missed a penalty. They'd just won a semi-final.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have known who won and who lost the game.
Why do you think that was?
I put it down to looking back now, the humility that they showed, that they knew that
you were going through it.
If we're all jolly here, you've just been beaten in a semi-final.
Wow, how nice.
You know? So it taught me a great lesson because when I scored 6 years later against Spain, I didn't celebrate with the England players. I went to the Spanish player to commiserate because of that experience those German players taught me. So,
and that just quickly... That moment, that picture, how we started this conversation, you celebrating that goal against Spain, the penalty, that emotion that you had going through your body, is that the first and only time it's been that level for you? Have you ever experienced that feeling in football before?
No. Every time you see me a picture scoring goals over my career, there's no emotion. You know what I mean?
You're right, because in the 91 Cup final, you scored that free kick. Nothing.
No, the game's not
miserable
won.
thing, aren't you?
Yeah, can be.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's great. Well, that goal was for Forest, right?
Yes.
I just needed a link. Max Scott sat down with Nottingham Forest. There you go. The midfielder Morgan Gibbs-White yesterday at their training camp in Portugal. He's been telling us what life has been like so far under the new gaffer, Oliver Glasner.
I feel like we had the team morale, the team vibe down to a T. No matter who the manager was before, we sort of never let that affect our group.
Yeah.
Which was really important. And now we've got that elite manager, that elite mindset, someone to push us and strive us through what we need. I really feel like we have that now. In terms of his ideas and stuff, it's been top. It's very clear. It's not difficult to understand. It's very clear and very demanding, where I think Ola's running 13.5K per game in that now. So, no, it's been, like I said, it's been difficult, but it's been really enjoyable.
Brilliant. Is that something that you think gets the best out of you? Because you're demanding on the pitch of yourself and of other people, the amount of running that you do defensively, attacking. Do you feel that you need that sort of manager to get the best out of you, or do you think you always bring that out yourself?
I think I'm able to always bring it out of myself. But I've always, as a player, I've always enjoyed having someone behind me, whether it's a manager, whether it's other players, always pushing to want to get more and more out of me. And I feel like this group of staff and the technical staff that the manager's brought in is a perfect example of pushing players, trying to get the best out of players, even individually. You know, showing individual clips around the hotel at night times, just to trying to get each individual better. Has been the key sort of aspects for me. So obviously I know how to get the best out of myself, but always having someone there to push you and, you know, remind you of what you need to do.
Is there an ambition, like a stated ambition, like this is what Oliver Glasner wants from us this season? Like, do you know what that is, or is it just more about developing a way of playing under him?
Of course, at the start you wanna come in, and he wants to come in and give his ideas and straight away and get that down to a notch, just so that everybody's understanding, everybody's clear. But he came in and said one thing. He said there's one thing that he wants to do, and it's to win, at whatever cost.
Talking about winning, the club came incredibly close to winning a European trophy last season. The glaring thing for most Forest fans and football fans, pundits, is that you weren't able to play in that second leg against Aston Villa because of that horrific injury that you got. I mean, it's healing really well, but can you just talk to us, like, that moment when it happened? I know this is a ridiculous question, maybe. Did it hurt, or was it more just you look and there's claret everywhere?
Didn't feel an ounce of pain. Wow. It was weird. No, I didn't feel any pain. I knew something had happened. Just so the brute impact of how it happened.
Were you? Did you go unconscious at all?
No. The doc came on. I answered every single question down to the T. I was literally fine. It just didn't look fine.
Did the pain come a little bit later?
Not really. It was tender. It's sore, but it was. I think I damaged a few nerves, and it was just numb.
Wow.
So obviously, when I first got the impact, I was like, "Oh, that was rough. That was tough." But my eyes were closed as I was holding my head, and I've gone to get up, put my hands and knees on the ground like that, and I just seen a pool of blood just pouring, and that was when I was like, "Oh no, what's going on here?"
Yeah.
And then the docs ran on, wrapped me up.
At what point did you think about, because that Chelsea game was a massive game for Forest in terms of the relegation fight.
Yeah, 100%.
The game you'd come on, I think got an assist, put the game to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, how soon after did you think about that second leg semi-final? Of course, Forest 1-0 up against Villa, going to Villa Park. Was that quite soon in your mind?
Yeah, as soon as I sat down on the doctor took me into the medical room at Chelsea. As soon as I sat down and he was about to start stitching me up, I said, "Whoa, doc, wait, can you see any bones broken? Will I be all right for Thursday?" And he said, "Morg, just forget about that right now. Just let me focus on doing my job and what I'm doing." That was the only thing I cared about, and still to this day, it eats me up that I missed that game.
But in your mind, if you could make the decision, you would have played.
without knowing what I did, and just the doctor just stitched me up and cracked on, then yeah, I probably would have. But I think I fractured my skull, broke my nose inwards, fractured my skull behind my nose, eye socket fracture, a fracture on my eyebrow bone. One of the specialists said that if it was 4 centimeters close to my eye, it would have been a no-go. My eye would have been gone.
You wouldn't have been able to see?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, indeed, that's nice. We spoke to Morgan Gibbs-White at the James Madison Golf Day a few months back.
Yeah.
And you could see, I mean, there's obviously a lot more raw there, but you could see just how deep it was and how big the injury was.
Yeah, it was a bad one on the day. You could see it was, and we're just so pleased that it wasn't anything that's sort of long lasting.
Yeah. That was a great interview. Well done, Max Scott. For more on that, you can go to the website, talksport.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel and see that interview in its full. I'm just being told we have got some gigantic breaking news, and I know what it is, and it is huge. And I'll tell you what it is right after this. Stay where you are. It's 8:47.
Thomas Tuchel, what he said, he's a key player for us, whether as a starter or as a substitute. The word substitute would even be uttered about Virgil van Dijk. Imagine someone saying that to Virgil van Dijk, even at 40.
No, I think
be a substitute.
No. You're massively cherry picking.
I'm not saying. No. Sorry, they just played the clip. No. They just played the package, and it was Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, saying he's a key player for us, whether as a starter or a substitute.
This is appalling from you. This is the very definition. You know when Donald Trump's moaning about fake news? It's you.
Sorry, I just basically quoted what the England manager said.
Okay. How important is context? The reason that he spoke like that is because he was accused of taking an injured player to a tournament. So the reason that he said he's going to be a key player for us, whether he's a substitute or whether he's a starter, is because it was suggested that you shouldn't take a player who has had an injury-ravaged season.
Oh, no.
So therefore,
injury-ravaged career.
Injury-ravaged career, fine.
But
The reason that he was talking about being a substitute...
I feel bad here because you're about to make me bury John Stones, and I don't want to. I think John Stones is a fantastic human being, fantastic defender.
You're not going to bury him.
Maybe England's greatest defender.
Breaking news on talkSPORT.
Yeah, welcome back. It's 8:51. It's the Breakfast Show on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Stuart Pearce alongside. We're here with our friends at Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Now, some massive breaking news regarding Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Here to tell us more is talkSPORT's chief football correspondent. Good morning, Alex Crook. Crookie, morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Andy. Big news, as you say, coming out of the Northeast this morning. Eddie Howe, we understand, is to leave his position as Newcastle manager after 5 years in charge at St James's Park. It looks like this is as much Eddie's decision as it is the club's. I know there's been frustrations in the transfer market with various potential deals falling through. Obviously, Anthony Gordon, Sandro Tonali, potentially Bruno Guimaraes leaving the club. And it looks like Eddie Howe has decided now is the right time for him to take a break. So Eddie Howe to leave Newcastle, we understand at talkSPORT, after 5 years in the job. Coming in to replace him potentially is the German Matthias Yassel, currently coaching over in the Saudi Pro League with Al Akli. So this could develop very quickly.
Yeah, thanks for that, Crookie. Let's stay there. We've got questions for you. I mean, this is absolutely huge for so many reasons. One is the fact that the start of the Premier League is only, 3 weeks away. Where does this leave Newcastle now?
Well, as I say, they're moving quickly. Just got a message from my colleague Ben Jacobs that Yassel will be the new manager. That deal is already agreed. So I guess a smooth transition in that regard, but it's not ideal, is it? Just a few weeks before they play Liverpool. I'll be there at St James's Park on that first Sunday of the season. And as I say, they need to get players through the door. I've mentioned those that have departed. The strategy this summer for Newcastle is that they're replacing those who leave with young, up-and-coming players from Europe. It's a gamble, I think, when you go down that road. And not only are they losing senior players, they're now losing the man who delivered their first domestic silverware in 7 decades, twice led them to the Champions League. I know he got a bit of stick from Newcastle fans, harshly, in my view, at the end of last season. I think this might be a case of you only realise how good he was once he's gone, Eddie Howe. This is a major blow for Newcastle fans, of course, because when he took over, when the Saudis bought the club and invested, there was so much hope, so much expectation. What does this tell you about where the club is now? Because you cited one of the main reasons, and I agree with you, that he's probably left his frustrations in that transfer market. What does that tell the fans about where Newcastle United as a club are currently? Well, I think you only have to look at what they've done over the past couple of seasons. Eddie Howe would have liked to have kept Alexander Isak last summer. Ultimately, it was the owner's decision to cash in what was a British record fee, but that saga for me dragged on for too long. It hampered Newcastle in the market. It meant they missed out on other targets. I'm not sure that Nick Voltemade in particular was anywhere near the top of their shopping list at the start of the summer. So how ambitious are the owners now? I think that's the question you have to ask. We've had the chief executive, David Hopkinson, on talkSPORT suggesting they could be title contenders in 5 years. I'm not sure that is realistic.
Crookie, how can we turn round and say that, Eddie Howe's left his role and already there's a manager lined up and say it was a mutual agreement? You know what I mean? The two don't go hand in hand, really, that you've got a manager that you're suggesting is already lined up and going to come through the door very shortly, and the Eddie Howe news has just broke today.
Yeah, I don't know the timescale yet, Stuart, because it's quite a obviously fresh breaking story in terms of when Eddie informed the club or when that decision to mutually part ways was made. But obviously they've had to move quickly because they're right in the midst of pre-season, right in the midst of planning for the new Premier League season. So I wouldn't necessarily attack the hierarchy for that. I think all good football clubs have a succession plan in place. Take Brighton, for example. They'll know now who their next manager will be if Fabian Herzl left the club. And I think that's probably the right way to operate.
Yeah, and Eddie Howe with the fans up in Newcastle, when he first went there as an ex-player at Newcastle, I was really delighted. So I respect him greatly as a manager, and I thought, what a brilliant fit this is. Then the silverware come, and you thought, incredible, the club are growing and growing. Then new ownership come in, and ever since the new ownership's come in, it's faulted badly in my eyes,
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's been some success. I think if you look at when he came in, they were looking over their shoulders towards the relegation places. I think Kieran Trippier was the first signing of the Eddie Howe era, and that really set the benchmark for what was to come. He piloted them away from any relegation danger, led them into the Champions League. I think I'm right in saying his first full season in charge, lost a League Cup final, then won that League Cup final against Liverpool, which was a brilliant day for everybody associated with Newcastle, and then obviously got them back in the Champions League last season. So I think he's more than delivered, Eddie Howe, and I think his stock should be high, despite the fact last season wasn't the best. I think if the FA are considering replacing Thomas Tuchel, I think Andy and I both felt after that Argentina game that should be the direction of travel. Eddie Howe should be next in line to be England manager, in my opinion. But you're right, Stuart, in terms of the players they've sold, they've not really been properly replaced, have they? And that's why last season was such an issue. And that's why I think this season a lot of Newcastle fans are quite pessimistic.
Last question from me, Crookie. Usually when something like this happens, how long before the club and also the man in question, in this case Eddie Howe, comes out with a statement?
Well, I would expect something imminent. I mean, I've reached out to both sources close to Eddie and to Newcastle. So far, it's a wall of silence, but that's to be expected. But I'd imagine we'll hear from the club at some point, and I hope they give Eddie Howe the send-off that he deserves.
Yeah, I agree. For the time being, thanks for coming on, Crookie. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, with the breaking news that Eddie Howe has left Newcastle United. I'd like to point out we've got all the screens on in it, all the media outlets. We broke this news before any of them, and that's why you continue to listen to talkSPORT. And we will be the first person for you to have your say on national radio. Newcastle fans, you must be itching to pick up the phone. Now is the time to pick up that phone and dial us 03717 223344. You don't have a manager. Eddie Howe's gone. It looks like Matthias Yassel has already agreed to become your new manager. I don't know too much about him. Maybe you do. But either way, we'd love to hear from you. talkSPORT is the place to be. It's the first place where you, the football fan, can have your say on national radio. So pick up the phone. You will be next. 03717 223344. The breaking news, we broke it before anyone else on the planet. Eddie Howe has left Newcastle. You can have your say right after this. 03717 223344.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Bruno Guimaraes from my Newcastle to potentially Arsenal. Now, the thing that's given me hope is actually related to fishing, Charlie, because he's been fishing on his holidays.
Has he?
I'm not sure if he caught a £14 common carp, but he was wearing a Newcastle bucket hat, and that is something I'm massively clinging to at the moment, Crookie. But where do you see this deal right now?
Well, I think I'm right in saying he's due back at training on Friday, and at the moment there's no suggestion that he's going to follow the Alexander Isak playbook and down tools or refuse to train in order to force this move. It's no secret that he wants to join Arsenal and that Arsenal want to buy him. I think the bone of contention with Newcastle is there's not actually been too much direct contact between Arsenal and Newcastle, so a lot of this is playing out in the media. Eddie Howe is frustrated about that. The hierarchy are frustrated about that. I still think if Arsenal make a bid, and he's got an 8 at the start of it, £80 million, I think Guimaraes will be sold.
Is a cheap option for them. Marcus Rashford, do you think? Cricky, I've had a few people connecting the two.
I'm just not sure Marcus Rashford is a Mikel Arteta type player. If you look at what he's done and why Arsenal have been so successful on his tenure.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. It's 3 minutes past 9. You're listening to me, Andy Goldstein, former England captain, legend Stuart Pearce. We're here with Arnold Clark. The perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. The breaking news, talkSPORT, just broke before we went to the news. Eddie Howe has left his role as head coach at Newcastle United. You can have your say by picking up the phone. I'm looking at my switchboard now, Newcastle fans. There's room for you. I know loads of you want to have your say. If you get dial-in, we'll hear from you in moments. So don't hang around. 03717 223344. Newcastle fans, dial in now. You can talk about the news that Eddie Howe has left his role as Newcastle head coach. The decision, by the way, has been taken following discussions with the club's hierarchy over the last 40 hours, although Howe had started the ball rolling on a potential departure a number of weeks ago. This is what talkSPORT understands. Let's hear Howe's last interview as Newcastle gaffer. He was speaking after last night's 4-1 friendly defeat to Bristol City.
Ideally, you don't want to lose. I mean, I'm not saying that we're happy to lose. We're not. We wanted to win the game, but you do want to test. You don't want that. For me, you don't want the games to be too easy. And we knew coming here with the squad that we have and the current state of their physical well-being in terms of we haven't trained for too long compared to a championship team who no doubt be a week to 2 weeks ahead of us. We knew it'd be very difficult.
That was Eddie Howe speaking as Newcastle boss last night after their 4-1 defeat to Bristol City. If you're just waking up now, he has left his role as Newcastle head coach. You, the Newcastle fan, can have your say. Don't hang around, though. 03717 223344. Rich was fastest finger first. He's a Newcastle fan. Joins us now. Rich, good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Stuart. How are you?
Morning, Rich. Good. You are the first Newcastle fan we have on reflecting on the huge breaking news that Eddie Howe has left. Your initial reaction when you heard that on talkSPORT was what?
Was shock, because I thought the players we were bringing in, going for the younger model, I actually thought that would suit Eddie Howe. I think he's fantastic with young players. I think he really develops them. And I was thinking, Eddie Howe's still in charge. Young players coming in. I felt confident that actually it might be a slow start to the season, but overall we would have a good season. Now he's left. It just seems a bit odd and very odd timing as well. I can't quite work out why he's left in like just as all the World Cup players are coming back.
Yeah, it does feel as though, not he's thrown you under the bus, but with 3 weeks to go to the start of the Premier League table, the Premier League begins. The timing is very bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, very bizarre. I thought if you're going to leave, obviously last season wasn't great. I did want him to leave at the end of last season, and I think that was the time to go, completely refresh the model, and then everyone parts ways after a fantastic 5 years. That's been full of highs, full of lows. They've been unbelievable. And then everyone goes with your head held high, and you get remembered for being probably the best Newcastle manager in 60 years. And then to leave now, I think it does leave a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, because I think you could have gone before pre-season started and before the whole new model sort of got put into play.
And just quickly, we spoke to talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook before the break. He broke the news. He told us that terms have already been agreed with your new manager, Matthias Yassel. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, so I was listening, and that's why I phoned up. I've never heard of the guy. I'm not going to lie. I don't think my football knowledge isn't too bad, but I've never heard of him. But all I can say is you've got to give him a chance. You've got to see what happens. And like I said, he's got, 3 weeks now to the Liverpool game?
Yeah.
All the players are coming back on the 31st. I think they're off to Spain on the Saturday. Let's just give him a go, see what happens. And you can't judge the guy just because you've never heard of him.
Okay.
You never know. You never know. Sometimes things happen for a reason, that everything works out best for everyone.
Okay, Rich, thanks for that. A very positive Newcastle fan. Let's speak to Andrew. Maybe he's the same, maybe not. Andrew, good morning to you.
Morning, lads. Harry.
Yeah, we're good, man. How are you today after that news?
Devastated. Absolutely devastated.
Go on.
If it was down to me, Eddie Howe would have been the manager for the next 10 years. I think he's been let down by the owners, the board. You've only got to look at the way the club's being run. I mean, how many directors of football, different people coming in, like, above him. His hands are tied. Like, I don't blame him. Like, I respect him for walking. 2 weeks ago, we missed out on a target, and we said about other targets. 2 weeks later, we still haven't signed anybody. We're signing young kids. We're losing our best players. And we're apparently these owners are the richest people in the world, and they know what they're doing.
Do you feel as though this all stems back and is underpinned by the Isaac situation last summer, which, really destabilised the club, I think?
Piercy, the club had the opportunity. Isaac told the club that he wanted to leave after the cup final. Now, if a player doesn't want to play for you, get rid of him. They had the opportunity to get rid of him. We had a deal agreed, Ekitike to Newcastle, personal terms agreed, medical booked in, fee agreed, in Newcastle. Hummed and hard out, selling Isaac. As soon as he wanted to know, they should have said, we've got a replacement, sell him, Ekitike signs for Newcastle. They messed about. Liverpool ended up signing Ekitike, and then the new Isaac was going to go as well, so the player would line up to replace him. We lost them both. And then we ended up panicking last couple of days of the window, and we're saying 2 lads that wouldn't get a game from me on a Sunday morning. And that comes from the club, the board. Like, why are you messing around? Like, you had the situation. They dragged their heels, tried to show, like, we're not going to be pushed around by a player. They got embarrassed. And then the manager's got to front up every single week in press conferences, talking, what's happening. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't even know who his director of football is. What about 10 in 3 seasons? It's an absolute joke.
Andrew, thanks for your call. We'll take as many as we can. An absolute joke, says Andrew, the Newcastle fan. You can have your say on national radio before anyone else. 03717223344. Let's speak to a Newcastle legend. A very good morning to former defender Steve Howie. We'll get his views on that. Steve, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. How are you doing?
We're okay. What a bizarre sort of end last hour to our breakfast. We weren't expecting that whatsoever. Were you getting any kind of rumblings at all, bless you, Stuart,
Thank you,
that Eddie Howe was going to leave Newcastle or not? Is it a complete surprise to you?
Well, in all fairness, I think it's a surprise, but it's kind of not a surprise in a weird sort of way, because you can imagine, for the last 2 years, he's been trying to build something, and then obviously star striker wants to leave, and then obviously the Gordon situation, and then Tonali looks as though Guimaraes is going to go as well. And you can imagine going upstairs and thinking, guys, what do you want me to do? Yeah, of course, they brought a couple of people in, some young kids, but are they for now? Probably not. But we all know what fans are like. They're not really forgiving in that respect. So he's probably just thinking, enough's enough. He has had to deal with a lot, in my opinion. I mean, the last caller there mentioned about the somebody coming in and basically overseeing the signings and stuff like that. He hasn't really had that. Or there's been people coming in, then they're out, then they're in, then they're out, and it's always that kind of rigmarole that's going on. So you can imagine him being very, very frustrated, because For me, I liked Eddie Howe, and I think he was a very good manager. I think he improved players. There was a lot of talk last season because of performances and kind of where they finished in the league, that, you know, Eddie Howe out and all that kind of thing. I wasn't one of them. I just think, you know, give him time, just let him try and rebuild and stuff like that. But of course, he's probably thought after last night, enough's enough. But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There could be something else that's been said, and he might have just had a little chat with Jason Tyndall and just thought, you know what, don't need this.
Steve, do you think this will be almost a breath of fresh air to him? It seems as though over the last, going back to last summer with the Isak situation, that he's been under the pump and on the back foot a little bit by situations that have not been down to his control, been outside his control. Do you think after 5 years at the Toon he would have thought, you know what, maybe it's the right time for me to jump ship now and move on, potentially?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you can imagine him at times. He's basically pushing against water, and he's just not plugging all the gaps. He's trying to plug as much as he possibly can, and he's just thinking, do you know what? I've done this, and then this has happened. I've done that, and then this has happened. I mean, he got the trophy that, you know, all the Newcastle fans wanted after so long. There was European football, and things were looking good. So you're thinking, you know, let's, you know, add to that. Be stronger. Be more competitive with the top teams in the Premier League. But unfortunately, what happens is the other big clubs in the Premier League have gone, I'll have him, and all that kind of thing. And he's just thinking, you know, am I wasting my time here? Is this just a waste of my time, me coming in every single day, the first day and the last out, and I'm just getting, you know, this one sold, that one wants to leave. So you can imagine him being very, very frustrated. So I really can't understand where he's coming from on this one.
I'm guessing, of course, the fans are going to be incredibly frustrated because they've got a manager that's given them Champions League football, that's won them the League Cup, and now he's left for the reasons we think he wasn't necessarily back. The club owners might come out and say that they had to sell these players for financial fair play reasons. Do you think this puts into question how ambitious the club is now, Steve?
I think a lot of people were, you know, when the new owners came in, everybody thought they were going to be buying this player, that player, and all the other. And obviously, they couldn't do that with financial fair play. They had a player like Elliot Anderson, for instance. You know, they had to quickly kind of sell him to Nottingham Forest, and then look where he's at now. But yeah, I mean, it's a strange one, especially when you see. And I think fans will look at it and go, well, how do Newcastle do this when you look at the other clubs in the Premier League and they seem to be buying and spending quite freely? So I think that's a strange one. I mean, I do feel as though, as I said, I think the fans are a little bit disillusioned with the owners and the fact of...
Oh, I think he's gone. Steve, you there? No, I think we've lost him. Steve? No. Hopefully we'll get Steve Howie back. I was going to ask him, I'll ask you, Stuart, about what he thinks about the supposed new manager, Matej Yassel. I've got some, I can't claim I know, I've got some facts about him. He's 38. He has managed Red Bull, Salzburg, and in the Saudi Pro League. The Newcastle fans will be thinking we should be aiming higher, right? No disrespect to him. But Newcastle feels though it's a big club. The fans will feel it's a very big club. And for a very big club, you should have a recognised, very big manager, right? Will they be disappointed with this appointment?
You know what? From this is my experience up at Newcastle. I think their support are pretty open-minded people. You know, I don't think they'll make gut decisions. We need this, we need that in a manager. I think they'll give the manager the opportunity to prove himself at the football club. I mean, if it is him and he is the one coming through the door, they'll certainly give him time to do that. It's not an easy job at the moment because of the expectation that Eddie has probably pushed the club up to bigger heights now. And the expectation is the club should be in and around European football. So he's walking through the door at Newcastle with that expectation.
And do you think Eddie Howe leaving Newcastle puts pressure on Thomas Tuchel?
No, I don't. Because of the contract that was signed pre-World Cup by Tuchel, I think the timing of it is probably, well, a little bit awkward for Eddie because, you know, Eddie's been touted as the next England manager and has been for a while. So the timing of it would have looked absolutely bang on if Tuchel hadn't signed that extension to his contract, then it would have been. But I think the FA will honour that contract.
Okay, you're listening to The Breakfast Show. It's just gone 9:15. It's a show of firsts. We broke the news to you first. Eddie Howe has left his role as Newcastle head coach, and you can have your say before anyone on the planet. Newcastle fans, pick up the phone, react to that huge breaking news. 03717 22 344. We understand Eddie Howe is leaving Newcastle United. I'm curious, Oliver, after that initial discussion where you said you were leaving the club and then you did remarkably well, you became the most successful manager Palace have ever had, was there late on ever a discussion to try and keep you at the club?
No, I was very clear in my message, and I told the players before I announced it publicly. I told the players before, and I told them the same, because many had concerns. Can we end the season successfully? And I told them, if they now drop the standard, I would feel that I failed. Because this was always the message, don't do it for the manager, it just makes no sense. Do it for yourself, do it for the group, do it for the fans, do it for the club. And I think then winning the Conference League just showed that we created a different mindset, that we set different standards in the club, so that the players are ambitious, they want to play European football again, that they want to win silverware. And I think this was, for me personally,
Good morning, everyone. It's 19 minutes past 9. Get that out. It's talkSPORT's Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, the legend Stuart Pearce alongside me. The breaking news, if you're just turning on your radio, Newcastle manager Eddie Howe is set to leave his job with immediate effect after 5 years in charge. He took over the club in the relegation zone in November 2021, led them into the Champions League in less than 18 months, also ended their trophy drought, won, of course, the League Cup. I think 1969 was their last silverware before he won the League Cup with Newcastle. Your calls are flying in. I promise to take as many as I can. Let's go straight to the phone lines. John is a Newcastle fan, joins us now. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
John, hold on. John, are you John, the Jack Charlton's son, John?
Yes, I am, yes.
Oh, John, what a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks so much for that.
Thanks very much.
Are you good? Are you well?
I'm very well, very well.
Good.
Can't complain at all.
Well, did we phone you or you phoned us?
No, I was talking to Eddie on last Sunday.
Yeah.
In a local shop near where I live, and we were having a conversation. And after I don't know, we were maybe there for half an hour talking. I had my daughter with me, and we were just talking about Newcastle and this, that, and the other. And I said to him, I suppose there's only one thing you can do. You've got to make a decision. It's either going to be yes, I stay, or no, I don't. And he said, yeah, you're quite correct. That's the decision that needs to be made. Anyway, the conversation went on, and we were talking about my dad. And when I left, I went to a friend of mine's house, and first thing I said to him when I walked through the door, I said, Eddie Howe's going to leave.
Wow, you got that impression, did you?
just by his demeanour and what he said, and he didn't actually come out and say he was leaving, but just by his body manner, the way he was talking and the way he was very non-committal, and I walked away and I said to a friend of mine, he's going to leave.
Why do you think that is, John? What would be the reason, do you think, behind his decision?
I think there's lots of things behind it. I think the PSR situation with regards to the money. I mean, the club have the money, but they're not allowed to spend it. And every time he tries to sign a player, they get gazumped by somebody else. And I think this has just been a gradual build-up. And I think it's got to a point now with him where he's just said, look, you know, we try and sign somebody else pinches him. And I think he's just had enough of it. And I think it's time to I think he's decided it's time to move on.
John, before I let you go, thanks so much for your call. Before I let you go, it's quite ironic that you phoned up. You know what the date is today, right? July the 30th?
Yes, I do.
60 years ago today, your dad won the World Cup with England.
Yes, and funny enough, me and Eddie were talking about his medal.
Yeah.
I think there's only him and my Uncle Bobby who have kept their medals. Everybody else doesn't have them anymore.
Where's your dad's medal?
I've got it.
Have you?
Mm.
Oh, my
Yeah, I do.
goodness.
Well, there's a bit of a problem with it, actually. When I say I've got it, it was left to me in my dad's will.
Yeah.
But the taxman wants £200,000 off me in inheritance tax.
Oh, you're not going to sell it, are you?
No, I've had to give it back. I've given it back to my mother.
Right.
Because while she's got it, I don't have to pay that money.
How has he come up with that figure? I mean, this is a conversation for another day, sorry, but how on earth has a taxman come up with 200 grand inheritance tax for a World Cup medal?
I've no idea.
That's disgusting.
There's a journalist from the Daily Mirror who's been working on it and helping us to try and sort it out.
That's disgusting.
But the same applies to like Olympic gymnasts and people like that. If they decide to sell their gold medals, they're going to have to pay, you know, their family, pass it on.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pay inheritance tax on that.
That's disgusting.
And this is something that they've been trying to sort out.
What about his shirt?
I've got his shirt. Well, we've got his shirt as well.
Oh,
It's his shirt and his medal are in a safe place, tucked away, and the England cap that he got.
Yeah.
Because they only got one cap for the tournament, and that's the only cap that he left. He gave the rest away.
John, can I ask you a question? Whenever you're coming down to London, will you promise me that you'll bring that and yourself down into talkSPORT and come into drive time with me and Bentley?
What, the medal?
Yeah, and the shirt.
If I ever come to London again, I'll bring the shirt, the medal, and the cap, because I think the cap's as good as the shirt.
We'll pay for your train fare here and back, right? We will. Honestly, I'll be absolutely honoured. I'll pay for it myself. I'll be honoured for you to come down. I really would, John.
No problem at all.
Thank you so much for joining us and telling that story. It's great. Great to hear from you, John.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Tell you what's
Bye-bye.
incredible.
Jack Charlton's son, John.
I know.
Amazing.
He says, my dad, Jack.
I know. And me uncle Bobby.
And you're thinking, this is...
Your uncle's Bobby
This
Charlton.
is unbelievable.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Crazy.
insane? Right, let's get back to what we were talking about. In case you've just turned on your radio, Eddie Howe's left his role as Newcastle head coach. We broke that before anyone else, just before the news. Let's speak to Ash. I'm guessing a very unhappy Newcastle fan. Ash, good morning to you.
Andy, Stuart, good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
We're good. We're very well. How are you after that news?
Well, I think it was something was coming. I don't know. I just had that sense, but rather than me going, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" It's more of just a case of me wanting to thank Eddie Howe for what he's done. When you look at where we were when he took over in 2022, we were bottom of the Premier League and we were going down without a trace. And you look at that record, no one had stayed up after not winning 14 Premier League games at the beginning of the season. We finished 11th that season. We went and won a trophy under Eddie Howe. We went into 2 Champions League campaigns. I've got nothing but admiration for Eddie Howe and his coaching team for what he did. So it's more just to put my record on record, for me, put on record my thanks to him, Jason Tindall, and his coaching staff for what they've done. I think it's a day to be positive and to thank him for what he's done rather than look at the negatives.
I don't. If you're asking my opinion, I don't think any Newcastle fans will say anything negative about him from making this decision as late as he's left it. I think the blame from Newcastle's perspective, the fans, will entirely be on the owners for letting this happen.
Yes, I think there's other factors at play. I think this is probably for another day in terms of you look at PSR and you look at the lack of sporting directors up until Ross Wilson arrived last season. I think that's probably going to be for another day. I think for me personally, the way I look at things, for me, it's more just say thanks to him in terms of what he's done for Newcastle.
Okay.
And also, of course, ending the trophy drought. I think he's done nothing short of fantastic for the football club.
Okay, Ash, thanks for your call. You've been fantastic. Let's take another. Steve's a Newcastle fan. Steve-o, morning.
How you doing, guys? All right?
I'm good, man. Off you go, pal.
Disappointed, There's sad news about Eddie, but it goes with all my best wishes, like that previous caller as well. It's been fantastic for us.
Yeah, where do you think the blame lies, Steve?
Me personally, I think the blame lies with you've got me on one now. The rules. I think these new financial rules, PSR, SCR, whatever you want to call them. I think Newcastle are in a situation where they want to be ambitious and they strive to be ambitious. I mean, you mentioned before about the owners and are they still in it? And I think they are. They're putting money into the club. They've just bought Leazes Terrace and they're making plans to do that, but they simply can't do it on the pitch. Their hands are tied. They can't seem to buy the players that they want to. That was proven last summer. They can't shop at the top table. They can't buy players that they want this summer because they get gazumped every time they go near one. And then, of course, with the rules and these sanctions with UEFA that they're under, they're having to sell the best players just to tie in with the rules that they are in both in Europe and the Premier League.
Are you worried about what the future might bring?
No, not at all. I'm not worried at all. I think the club will be fine. We'll carry on with Newcastle United, and players will arrive. We'll probably finish mid-table this season at best. But I think Eddie, to go back to Eddie Howe, I just feel for the chap because I think he's taken the club. Maybe he thinks he's taken the club as far as he possibly can right now. And if he has a bad start, we've got Liverpool and Spurs and Bournemouth, his old club. If we have a bad start, and that's quite possible, the fans are going to be on the back. The media will be on his back. And he'll get pelters for that. So maybe it's the right time for him to leave and not tarnish his legacy.
Okay, great call. Thanks for that, Steve. How high, Stuart, do you think his stock currently is at the moment? Is it the right time to leave? It's a good point he makes. He's under all managers are under pressure, but he's under maybe a bit more. 3 tough games coming up. Do you think he's made the call for that reason, or one of those reasons is that?
We don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, whether it's been half the club, half him, we don't know. But I would say, and as I said to you before, the Newcastle fans are pretty, balanced-minded.
Very much so, yeah.
Aren't they? And I think there was a great caller saying, let's laud what he's done, the achievements he has. I think he's a good manager. I think he's leaving the football club after 5 years, taking them from the bottom of the division into Europe, silverware, that type of thing. You can only look back and say what he's done has been fantastic, but I can understand probably the frustration. You can see it in his press conferences on occasion, the frustrations that he had, that he can't take the club to the next level beyond. And they look as though they're treading water at the moment, Newcastle.
Keep your calls coming in, 03717223344. On the big breaking news that Eddie Howe has left Newcastle United. We understand Matthias Yassel, the 38-year-old, will be taking over. Newcastle fans, you can react to that before anyone else by picking up the phone. We'll take your calls right after this. It's 9:30.
Gone crazy, but I think that you almost have to just suspend your reality.
And not the worst things about this crazy spending.
how many in the history of the Premier League have actually landed?
No, that's true.
One.
I would say of
Virgil
the most
van Dijk. One
of the most expensive players in the Premier League. Like Romelu Lukaku is on that list twice.
Yeah.
And he failed twice. Paul Pogba is on that list.
Yeah.
Failed.
Harry Maguire's not failed, but
yeah. I mean, Andrei Shevchenko at one point would have been on that list. Failed. Fernando Torres at one point would have been on that list. Failed.
Yeah.
There are countless examples of players who have moved for huge amounts of money, come with that level of expectation.
Declan Rice has lived up to it.
Declan Rice has most certainly
still
lived up to
too much, but he's lived up to it.
Well, Declan Rice is actually an interesting one because I would argue that if there is a £100 million player, Declan Rice is it. Declan Rice.
That's 100
I think Declan Rice has.
Well,
if you look at what Declan Rice has done since he's been at Arsenal, he won European silverware, uninspiring European silverware in my opinion, but he won European silverware at West Ham. He then went to Arsenal and was the catalyst to them ending a 20-year Premier League trophy.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Good morning, everyone. 9:34. You are listening to the talkSPORT Breakfast Show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Stuart Pearce and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. If you're just joining us, firstly, where have you been? Secondly, the big news this morning. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has left his role with immediate effect. The Al Hilal boss, Matthias Yassel, is set to replace him. He came in, by the way, Eddie Howe, he came into the club. They were 19th back in 2021. And what a transformation it's been.
Breaking news on talkSPORT. Eddie Howe is the new Newcastle manager. He's agreed a contract at St James's Park.
Well, it feels fantastic to be head coach of Newcastle. I'm absolutely honoured, privileged. It's an incredible moment in my life.
I think he's the best thing that's ever happened to Newcastle since Bobby Robson left.
What a famous victory this is for Newcastle United. What a night. Newcastle 4, Paris Saint-Germain 1.
Newcastle United have won the Carabao Cup. It's been a long time coming, but this is immortal. Eddie Howe and his Newcastle United players spill onto the pitch, having won the Carabao Cup.
Eddie Howe, take a bow. They've got the Angel of the North. Well, Eddie Howe is now the darling of the North East.
Eddie Howe, you've made every one of us Newcastle United fans and us Geordies unbelievably proud today, pal.
He will now go down as one of the best managers Newcastle have ever had, so I'm so pleased for Eddie.
You have been reacting since we broke the news just before 9. 03712223344. We'll go back to phone lines in a moment. Just a quick question for you, right? If you've got a club like Newcastle United, who many fans, football fans, Newcastle fans, think are a giant of a club.
Yeah.
Right? And understandably so. And you're selling Gordon, you're selling Isak. It looks like Bruno Guimaraes could be leaving as well. This is a horrible question. What is Newcastle United, Stuart? What are they? Where are they?
If you asked me that question a year ago, I would have said they're a top of the Premier League European side that look as though they're growing. Ask me the question now, and I would say they look like a mid-table Premier League side that if they're not careful and they keep losing players and there's a downturn, they could flirt with relegation.
Yeah.
That's how
I
fragile
totally agree
the
with
Premier League is.
Isn't that bizarre?
It is, and it's a travesty because I've played there in front of their supporters and they're just incredible up there. And I was delighted when Eddie went in to give the club a lift and see Newcastle on the rise, because I remember the great days with Kevin there and beyond that, and when Bobby went there as well. And as I say, it's a club synonymous with great things and great football, and it just needs the Premier League needs a big Newcastle United.
I totally understand. This will be interesting. I can't remember this, but we're playing. Newcastle CEO David Hopkinson joined talkSPORT at the end of March last year. He spoke about the ambitions for the club over the next few years.
You know, we have a high ambition here. We have a concrete plan. It's a 5-year plan. It takes us through 2030, and it has benchmarks along the way. You know, a plan without a time frame attached to it is just a fantasy. It's just a dream. So we have a plan here. We have a strategy here. We're working on executing that every single day. But 10 years is too long. We got to think about how we are consistently contending for those top prizes within 5 years. 10 years, you know, you walk at a certain pace. With 5 years, I already feel like we're burning daylight, and we need to get after this every
So by 2030, Newcastle United, this great club, will have been Premier League champions. That's what you're telling me?
That's our ambition.
5-year plan. Is Eddie Howe leaving and Matthias Yassel coming in? Is that part of their 5-year plan?
Well, it certainly weren't when that interview was broadcast, that's for sure. I wouldn't suspect.
I'm always stunned when CEOs or people close to clubs come out with such ridiculous statements.
Yeah.
You've been in football your life, right? I'm obviously involved in football. I know how difficult it is to win the Premier League. For someone to come out and say within 5 years we're going to win it, it's just insane. Why would you even say that?
Yeah, well, it would be interesting to ask him to do exactly the same interview now and say, right, okay, you've done this in March. What's changed?
Still going to win the Prem by 2030.
Is everything still the same? Because at the moment, Newcastle look an absolute mile away from that statement.
I genuinely feel that when people say that, they don't know football. They don't know football. You name another club, right? Even here's the thing: if someone at Chelsea came out today, right? If Todd Bowley came out and said within 5 years we'll win the Prem, and Chelsea, right, a giant of a club, they've won the Champions League twice, they've won the Premier League many a time.
Yeah.
If he come out and said within 5 years we'll win it, I'd be like, wouldn't bet on it. I mean, they might.
Yes.
Still wouldn't bet. Knowing what I know about football, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
Would you?
No, but I wouldn't say that would be outlandish.
No, I'm not saying
that statement. Newcastle,
but that's what I'm saying.
Looks very outlandish.
That's what I'm saying. An established club like Chelsea, who know what it's like to win the Prem, there's no guarantee they will.
Yeah.
So to come out and say Newcastle will, it's just bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds brilliant for the fans.
Yeah.
But you know, what is the process that you're going through? What are those benchmarks over the 5 years?
Yeah.
If you drill down in that, it looks very flaky now.
Josh is a Newcastle fan. He's dialed 03717 223344. Wants his Sound National Radio. Josh, good morning to you.
Morning, gents. You all right?
I'm okay. Good, how are you on the back of that mad news?
Well, I think, unfortunately, the post-takeover fans, they've got what they've wanted. I've been a season ticket holder for about 15 years now. I've seen some absolutely clueless managers in the dugout. I think Eddie Howe's had an extremely difficult time. We've had 3 directors of football, sold all with star players. Look at Isak last year, Bruno, Tonali, but Bruno potentially even Tonali, Gordon. He's had one bad season, and then we just get rid of him. I think we're going to really, really struggle next year, and I think the post-takeover fans, the happy clappers, I think, you know, they've got what they wanted, unfortunately.
Josh, just going back to that bit of audio we played from your CEO, David Hopkinson, As a Newcastle fan, when you hear someone connected to your club, quite high up or very high up, saying that we're going to win the Premier League in 5 years, as a football fan, do you get excited about that, or do you think that's just nonsense?
Nah, it's absolute nonsense, mate. We're still playing Jacob Murphy on the right wing, and you think we're going to win the league? Like, come on. We have to be realistic.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Thanks for your call. Let's go to Nick, who's a Newcastle fan. Morning, Nick.
Morning, boys. How you doing?
Yeah, well, good, man. Off you go. What do you want to say?
Well, just slightly disappointed, but I mean, he's brought so much to the club. He's made us believe again, and I am a bit shocked that he's gone. I know we've had a dodgy pre-season, especially with Bristol, but I mean, like, I don't know. Like, he's brought unity, and we've had a tough season last season. We lost Isaac off the back of that, and yeah, I don't know. I think we're all going to be quite shocked. I think it's going to be a really tough season coming up without him. And, yeah, I just hope the standards and the discipline and unity is still the same.
Who do you blame, Nick?
I think most of my blame does go towards the manager. That's my natural reaction. But I don't think he's had it easy. But, I mean, he's achieved so much for us.
Sorry, what do you blame Eddie Howe for?
I think maybe certain tactical decisions in certain games. There's been like last season, there were so many games that we really should have taken on and won. We dropped, I think, if I'm correct in thinking, we dropped more points from winning positions than any other team. There was games that we went into, we were winning, and we ended up losing in the second half. And it's teams that we shouldn't really be losing against. And I wouldn't like to think to put the blame on the players. I would say it's more Eddie Howe. But I mean, he's had 5 seasons. He joined as a relegation battle. We finished 11th. Next season, we're in the Champions League. Next season, we were 7th, and then Champions League again. And then we won the Carabao Cup. So, I mean, he's done a lot to prove himself. I would give him another season, but time too late, I think.
Okay, let's take as many as we can. Andy's up next, also obviously a Newcastle fan. Andy, good morning.
Morning, boys.
Hi, man. Off you go, pal.
I'm over the moon. He's gone.
Wow, you're the first call we've had. Nearly an hour we've been talking about this. You're the first caller that said that. Why is that?
Because we've been trudging along for a year and a half since we won that cup, and it was getting really, really bad. We're watching some terrible football, and I think whether it was him, whether it's the people above him, whether it's the players, I think he lost the dressing room part of last season, and obviously the sales that's going through now, I think that's proven that. The new signings we've made also prove that they weren't his signings, because there's a total change in directions in the signings. He's been brilliant for us, but it's been bad for over a year, and I think if we hadn't started the new season with a different direction, we would have been in big trouble. We might still be in big trouble, but at least I think we've got a fighting chance now. And I've got some breaking news for you boys. Pep's just landed in Newcastle Airport.
Well, he's got a holiday home up there, has he?
He has.
Yeah,
Nice
I mean, you'd bite his arm off for that, wouldn't you?
Right, now Pep's in town, what advice would you give him? Where does he need to strengthen that team?
Well, if Bruno's going, he's going to need a new leader. So, similar to what Alonso's doing at Chelsea, really, by the looks of it, he's going out, he's getting some Prem-proven players with a lot of experience, older heads, who's going to galvanise the club and drive us forward.
Okay. He's the only Newcastle fan we've had that's happy with the news. That does surprise me. Maybe Ross is the second. Hello, Ross.
Hello there, Andy. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I was very
legend. Lovely to talk to you.
Hi, mate.
Go on. I was very.
Shame that Eddie Howe has left.
Go on.
Shame that Eddie Howe has left, and I think we're on a downward spiral, unfortunately. Eddie Howe just didn't get enough time. He obviously hasn't got enough money through PSR. But at the end of the day, I think we're on a downward spiral. Where is this manager coming from? What has he achieved? I think it's detrimental to the club.
Do you think, sorry, just going back to what the last caller made, a very good point about the new players coming in, they're not necessarily Eddie Howe signings. Do you think maybe that's the new angle that the club are taking, that they'll bring in a player, and we've seen it so often now in football, where it's not the manager picking the players and bringing in the new players. The club are just getting someone to train these players and then stick them out onto the pitch. It's a totally different game to it.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Andy. It's definitely going down the wrong way. The manager should have the power to buy his players, know who he's buying, know who he's playing with. I think it's very, very important going forward. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's had the support from upstairs, even though he's brought them their first trophy. He's a legend, as far as I'm concerned. He's the Kevin Keegan of this era, to be fair, as far as Newcastle are concerned. And I think we're going down this year.
You think you're going down? Is that not an overreaction?
No, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think we'll actually go down this year.
What, just because he's gone and Matthias Jassel's coming in?
Yes. Who's this Matthias Jassel? Never heard of him before. What's he going to achieve? Is he going to get... He can't get any money because of PSR rules. So we're going to lose Bruno Guimaraes. You listened to Eddie Howe's interview there 3 weeks ago. He didn't know what the situation was with Guimaraes. He said that's for other people to deal with up top. If you're the manager, you should know what's happening with your players. He didn't know what was happening with Guimaraes. And the next news you're going to break is Guimaraes is gone.
Yeah.
So,
Ross, I hear your pain. Thanks for your call. Do you think maybe that was part of it, Stuart, that we're getting to that phase in Premier League football, certainly over in this country, where managers aren't picking the players, and maybe Eddie Howe's seen all these new players coming in. They weren't necessarily his picks, and there's very little you can do, right?
Saying we're getting to it is a
well, we're there now, right? There's only a few managers that got full control of the club.
Owners want they want full control of the signings. They want full control of who comes, who goes. They want everything, and at the end of it, who's disposable the managers are. And I find it quite sad. I think Newcastle have lost an outstanding manager. I fear for them a little bit for next year. You know, the statement there, I think, will go down. You know, Ross said, and to be fair, they're probably closer to going down today than they are winning the Premier League.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
You know, so
that's a very you certainly bet on the first rather than the last one.
Yeah, I think I would.
A reminder: keep your calls coming in on Eddie Howe, because Adam Cattrall and Darren McAntony will be taking over from us in about 12 minutes' time. So if you've not had your say on talkSPORT, now is the time to pick up the phone. 03717 223344. It's 9:48.
This is probably one that Darryl would be more interested in because it concerns his beloved Liverpool.
Don't sign him. Don't sign him. You don't want him. No, not for that kind of money, no. We need a central offender. We need another midfielder. Yes, we need a winger. They spent 100-odd million on him. They're not going to do any more, and we need a right back. I just think, I look at his figures, and I look at where he is and whatever else. No, I'm not having it. Not having it. No.
Wow. See, I think he'd be a great addition to the Premier League. But in terms of the figures, obviously PSG were touting over the weekend. They wanted 145 million. I think the opening bid from Liverpool is going to be a lot less than that, maybe nearer the 80 to 100 million pound mark with add-ons. Will that be enough to persuade them to do business? Who knows? But Barker isn't signing a new contract as it stands, so PSG not necessarily in a strong position.
Why do you think he'll be a serious asset in the Premier League? Tell me what he can do in the Premier League. I've looked at all his data. I've seen his Champions League data. I've seen in France. Someone even put up a comparison with Cody Gakpo, and I'm not his biggest fan. Gakpo was pretty much ahead of him in a lot of the data. World Cup goals, Champions.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. It's 9:51. It's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce, alongside. It's time now to welcome in our most important guest of the day, huge TV star. She's the co-host of the iconic British game show Countdown. And my good pal Rachel Riley is here.
I'm here to announce my resignation. I thought I'd do it here.
It's a good place to do it.
Place to do it, yeah.
By the way, you should say I'm not actually.
No.
People they dip into radio and they go, I just heard Rachel say
it's just How is the big news?
Eddie Howe.
Yes.
Huge
Not
news.
me.
You're a huge football fan. That's
Yeah.
how we know each other, right? For
Yes.
A day travelling to see Manchester United. Should we get your view on that first, Eddie Howe?
Well, I know nothing about it. I mean, what's happened?
So he's resigned. He's walked
Yeah.
away. We're waiting to find out why.
Yeah.
We can only assume it's because all these big name players are going,
Yeah.
and players are being brought to the club that he probably doesn't necessarily know too much about, and I'm guessing it's lack of ambition.
Yeah.
They've already got a new manager, Matthias Jassel. We're led to believe he's going to be the new manager of Newcastle. Do you know much of him?
I know nothing
No.
of him. I'm just imagining, back page editors up and down the country thinking of all the puns.
Yes.
How? No, I news.
Have you got
news,
any?
News just. Oh my God.
How did that happen?
Not off the back of my head.
Yeah.
No,
Talk of the
how,
tune.
yeah.
How did that happen?
I mean, it writes itself, doesn't it?
That's done too.
Before Michael Carrick went into United, would you have liked Eddie Howe at United?
Great question.
It's before Carrick came in, and you're 15th, and you're looking rubbish.
Anybody?
Well, yeah, but he's not managed the top teams, has he? It depends what ambition Man United have got, because I think we've got ambition again now, because we had a few years of in the wilderness. You need ambition, and we are not spending still like the big clubs are now, like City, and the recruitment around Manchester and all the rest of it. It's not where it was. It's not the same.
Were you a fan of Ruben? I couldn't stand him, by the way.
I don't think he didn't do very much. Did
No,
he? I mean,
charlatan. I called him on this show.
I mean, it's just nice to have a proper red though back in, isn't it? Carrick, because I was childhood. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was my favourite player. So when Ole was the manager, I was just in. I loved him. The first thing I did at United, he was the youth manager. And I saw him at Carrington, and he had to run away because he was scared. He didn't want to go near the cameras and that. I'm just staring at Ollie. And obviously, when he was given the full-time job, he was doing really well. And then it just kind of crashed. So got really nervous when Carrick was given the role. And actually, to see him fly is amazing.
Yeah. Do you still get the chance to go to Old Trafford?
I barely get a chance to see the football now because my girls are 4 and 6, so it's very inconvenient for bedtime. If I could have a word with the football schedulers, I would make it a little bit later. The World Cup was amazing because my kids are asleep. They're not going to bother you. They're not going to tell you to turn the channel over and put YouTube on, and you can actually watch the football. So it's I feel reinvigorated now.
Are they United fans? I know early on in their careers you were buying them kits and so on.
They are. I mean, my dad's been going to Old Trafford since 1960. So I left them with my dad once and came back, and they think Man United's full name is Glory, Glory Man United.
Okay.
Through my dad. We won the Carabao Cup when my eldest was about 2, and she stripped down naked and was dancing on the table. But they've it's interesting because they're 4 and 6. They've grown up watching the Lionesses win stuff.
Yeah.
And my childhood, I was born in '86, so there was a few years of wilderness before we started winning everything. Yeah. So hopefully the path will follow for them. And
I took my kids. Their first game they saw at Old Trafford wasn't that long ago. It was when Cristiano Ronaldo came back and we played Spurs, and he scored a hat trick. And my little one looked at me and she went, "Does this happen every week?" And I went, every week. Yeah. Every week it happens. It's like
every week. I remember when I was young, my dad used to. It was I think we went to a game. We lost 2 games that season, and my dad took us to see Middlesbrough when we lost 3-2. And Dad had to take my little brother to the toilet for both of our goals, which was a lovely memory.
Good timing. Good timing.
It's really nice of me being an ex-Manchester City manager and player to listen to you.
Yeah.
To United.
Well, we haven't talked United for days on this show.
We're reminiscing
so it's quite nice.
back to the glory days.
Let's talk about the reason you're here. You're working with a campaign to keep young children safe at home. Tell me more about that.
It's Energizer Summer Safety Swap. So you might have noticed it's the summer holidays now. So talking about just going around your house and checking what's got lithium coin batteries. So things like fobs, your car keys, bathroom scales, and Energizer has the world's first child-safe battery that has ingestion burn prevention and 4 safety
What does that
features.
mean? So if they swallow it,
if they swallow it, it's got protection on there. If the kid puts it in their mouth, it goes bright blue so you can see it. It's got child protective packaging. and it tastes disgusting as well. So it's about going there. It's as a parent, you have kids, and everyone knows about the medicines and the cleaning products and the sharp stuff and the matches, but no one talks about lithium coin batteries, which can be dangerous. So it's about going and checking, making sure there's nothing lying around, making sure that they're disposed of safely. With them, and we've had we're 2 weeks into the school holidays, so we've had various play dates, and mine are 4 and 6. But you get friends over that have got little babies, and you just get out of that zone as soon as you're a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then the siblings are coming around, and they're drawing on stuff and picking stuff up, and yeah. So it's just
That's
a little
great idea,
reminder.
because the bathroom scales things, I don't think too many kids are going to open the back of them. They're quite tricky. But the car keys is absolutely, because that's what
they're
they're
always
literally
on the side at home, aren't they?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, before this, it's just a good reminder to have it in your mind. I've got the car keys sitting on the side and the garage button, and half of them were knackered. So it was just a good prompt to get in there and go and check anyone's out.
If your child did swallow one of those batteries?
999.
Literally
999. Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
You can't open the car to take them to hospital, can you? Because the car keys are in them.
Andy, no.
You could go over to the car with them and push their stomach.
No, we're not. I can't joke about.
No, you can't do that.
No, but it's one of those things that you only really hear about when there's a terrible accident. So it's getting in with the prompt, so you can do something about it before anything that happens.
So I'm going to ask a silly question. Are kids taking the batteries out of the key fobs then?
Well, people forget that they're so dangerous, or they don't realise.
Oh, okay.
So, you get these little toys. You get all kinds of toys bought from whatever country, and it's sometimes it's a tiny little screw. Kids' toys that you're giving them. Those annoying things that play music all the time. And if that little screw bit breaks, or if they can manage to get it open, you don't want that, basically.
I've got 2 batteries, the ones you're talking about, on my side in my kitchen now. So if you take them out of something, you put them on the side.
Don't swallow them, Stuart.
I'm not going to do that.
What the thing I love about these chats...
They taste horrible, so I've been told.
Well, the Energizer ones do.
Well, the thing I love about these chats, people listening, and millions of people listening to the show, even if that conversation has saved one life...
Yeah.
We've done our job today. How can people find out more about it? Is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, they just Google Energizer. It's the Energizer Summer Safety Swap, and all the information is on there. But it's world's first. So good one, Energizer.
Well done. Great to be connected to that. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's been way too long.
Come on, you Reds.
Come on, you Reds.
It's our season.
New season, right? Stuart's not happy with that.
Enough of those Arsenal fans.
The dawn before the crash.
Yeah. That's a DVD I've got. That was TV star, co-host of The Countdown, Rachel Riley, with us in the studio. Lovely to see you. Stuart, lovely to see you. I'm not with you tomorrow, right? I've got Charlie Austin along.
Yes, you got a better one tomorrow.
Thank you. I don't know about that.
I know you love me along.
A reminder of the massive breaking news today. Eddie Howe's left Newcastle. Immediate effect, of course. Keep your calls coming in. Adam Catchell, Darren McAntony are up next. 03717 223344. I'm back tomorrow at 6 a.m. alongside Eddie Howe's former strikers, or one of them, Charlie Austin, who he managed in his Burnley days. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a lovely day. Be safe, everyone. Be safe.